Welcome to the world's fastest half mile.
It's Bristol time, baby.
You can't run or hide anywhere at Bristol.
If you are what you say you are, a superstar.
Short track racing at the last great Coliseum. Test everyone who dares to try and conquer it. But for a certain 4 drivers, the stakes are much higher. 100K is on the line.
The heat is here. It's time to try to go dash for some cash.
One driver is going to get $100,000.
Will another young gun capture the check and trophy?
Brian Priest delivers at Bristol.
Or will there be a new driver to make it rain in Thunder Valley?
Not sure about heaven, but it is Bristol.
Find out next. Xfinity NASCAR Race Day starts now.
So the NFL has Lambeau, baseball has Fenway, there's Madison Square Garden, there's the Rose Bowl. Sports venues that are bigger than the names that play there and places where stars are often born. So in NASCAR, we have Bristol. And today, 37 drivers hope they are the one to say that they won at this awesome half-mile racetrack. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Race Day on FS1. Welcome to our Race Hub studios. I'm Shannon Spake, Jamie McMurray, and, of course, Larry McReynolds, 2 guys that know what it's like to be on the track and on the pit box at the Bristol Motor Speedway. As we get you ready for this race, we quickly do want to say that this week our colleague and friend Darrell Waltrip announced that this will be his last year calling races for Fox Sports and for FS1. It is an absolute understatement to say that we all love him and we are going to miss him. We're also going to talk with him tomorrow on the Cup pre-race show right here on FS1. So your thoughts, you've worked with him since the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, since February of 2001, but we're not going to let him off the hook just yet. We still have 2.5 months of broadcasting of NASCAR on Fox, NASCAR on FS1. But if he was going to make the announcement, I couldn't think of a more fitting place for Darrell Waltrip to announce his retirement. Bristol Motor Speedway, 12 wins. There was a 3.5-year period in the early 80s. No other driver but DW went to victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway in a Cup race.
It is crazy. He was so good there. 12 wins, as you just mentioned. But even someone like DW, right? He's had some infuriating times at the Bristol Motor Speedway. So my question to you, driver, is this place fun, like you hear the drivers love it, or is it infuriating?
No, I think it's a little bit of both. I think most guys like coming here because it is a fun racetrack. It's fast. It's one of those places that growing up that you always see on TV that you want to be able to race at. I remember going there the first time, the experience of being there, but it also can be frustrating. I think back to Tony Stewart and Matt Kenseth, especially, you know, we had the bottom groove as kind of the dominant groove, and now it's moved to the top, and it's hard to make those passes. You see guys do the kind of slide jobs, and when they don't work out, we see the anger come out in people.
Yeah, and it's race number 7 for this series, and this is their first true short track race of 2019, and it's going to be fun to watch. We have 7 drivers that's never raced at Bristol in the Xfinity Series. We have 2 drivers, Kyle Weatherman and Harrison Burton. They're making their first career start in the series. That's baptism by fire in my book.
And what about money? Do you think drivers go for money when they're out on the racetrack? I know they want the trophy, but maybe a little extra money, a little incentive?
Maybe a little bit.
Well, today is a dash for cash race, and so that means that 4 drivers, Christopher Bell, Michael Annett, Chase Briscoe, and Tyler Reddick, they are eligible to win $100,000 based on where they finished last week. So very limited. We have no Cup drivers who are going for points. We only have the Xfinity regulars. I mean, it opens it up for anybody. And I think a lot of people look at someone like Bell, right, who's had such great finishes, especially over the last 5 races at short tracks. But who else do you expect to be good here today?
Well, I'm anxious to watch Tyler Reddick. You know, he's so close to winning a race, and I promise you, he'll be running right up against the wall. But back to Christopher Bell, finished 2nd in the race there in August, and he is with Joe Gibbs Racing. I know we don't have a Kyle Busch, but we do have Joe Gibbs Racing. They've won 12 of the last 17 races at Bristol Motor Speedway in the Xfinity Series, so I'd say that guy right there will be one to watch.
Look at those finishes.
Disappointed me a little bit, though. Qualified 8th. I was expecting a little higher qualifying effort out of Christopher than that.
1.4 average finish in the last 5 short track races. That's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that is Kyle Busch's finishes. But the guy that I'm looking at, won here his first race in 2010. 6 of the last 7 races he's been in the top 5. And I feel like every time we come to Bristol, he's the contender. We haven't talked about him a lot this year, but it's Justin Allgaier. He's going to be competitive today.
And he is due for a victory this season, certainly for Allgaier. Okay, since they can't race today, we have 2 Cup regular drivers as guest analysts. 5-time Bristol Xfinity Series winner Kevin Harvick and Clint Boyer, who won here in 2008. Adam Alexander is going to try to wrangle these 2 together and keep them on a straight line. Here's Adam and Clint.
Shannon, it's like bring your crazy buddy to work day. Clint Boyer going to be in the booth with Kevin Harvick and me. And in the preseason, we ask all you drivers questions. What drivers would you want to hang out with? What drivers would you want to marry? What drivers would you want to kill? So I'm going to play this and get your reaction to you and Harvick.
Oh, man, if I'm going to marry one, I might as well marry Boyer just because I've been around him the longest.
This is too grouchy to marry him. Be too much like marriage.
So, here's my take on that. Yes, both of those are valid points. Yes, we have been together the longest, so it's basically a marriage anyway. Every time we break up, we figure out a way to get back together. And then his attitude is he's so moody. It's almost like being married to my wife. So, yeah, I would say it is a lot like marriage between us.
So I guess my role today in the booth will be double. Play-by-play and maybe like justice of the peace, Shannon.
Clint Boyer better have that flower delivery place on speed dial to get Laura some flowers right now. Coming up on our show, Chase Briscoe joins race day as he tries to win the first Dash for Cash race in 2019. He'll roll off 3rd today in the race. Plus, Regan Smith is going to introduce us to Harrison Burton, who makes his Xfinity Series debut for JGR in the red-hot 18 car. And later on the show, we are going to have a very special edition of the Pit Walk and Stump the Mac. You do not want to miss it. All that and more with Race Day right here on FS1.
Michael Annett, first career victory.
I really like what Tyler Reddick has shown us.
Christopher Bell's 9th career victory. 4 drivers going for $100,000. It is a Dash for Cash race. Show me the money.
Nelly dropping the Jeff Gordon. You got to love that. Annette, Reddick, Bell, and Briscoe. Those are the 4 drivers competing for the Dash for Cash today. One of those guys is going to leave Bristol with an extra $100,000. Chase Briscoe is a first-time Dash for Casher. He joins us now from Bristol. And Chase, you have some pretty cool partners on your car today. Bailey, Stella, Oreo, and Smokey. They're pit reporter Jamie Little's 4 fur babies. They are 4 rescue dogs, part of the Little family now. So I'm wondering, Chase, how this deal came about.
Yeah, it's really cool. Our sponsor, Nutri-Chomps, is a rawhide-free dog treat, and Jamie's big into adopting dogs and going to the shelters. And we actually went this weekend and went to a local shelter, donated $1,000, gave all kinds of treats away. So it's really cool. Jamie's 4 dogs are on the car this week, but each and every week we have typically a fan's dog on the car. So all you got to do is take a picture of your dog with the Nutri-Chomps treats, and then just post online with the hashtag #ChaseThe98. And each and every week we pick a different dog. So it's pretty cool, and hopefully we can give Jamie's dogs a good ride today.
Chase, I know you're running the full schedule this year for one race team. I look back at last year. Now, you did win a race at the Charlotte Roval, but how tough was it to run a limited schedule for 2 totally different teams, and along the way, maybe even not knowing what your future was?
Yeah, it was really hard. A lot of people don't realize how limited experience I have on pavement and stock cars in general. I don't think 65 races total. So, it's crucial for me, especially this year, to be able to drive the same car week in and week out. And it was tough. Every organization has its own ways of doing things, and the cars drive separate. So it's been really nice this year to kind of have one place to call home and just get comfortable in one car and how it drives each and every week. And I feel like it's really going to pay dividends by the end of the year.
Chase, you're in the Dash for Cash, and it looks to me like, based on practice and where you qualified in the top 3, that you've got a really good car for the race this weekend. But the one thing that nobody has got to do so far is to be able to run the top. It looked to me like the Cup guys were having a really hard time working that in. So how long do you think it's going to take before you guys can move to the top? And do you want it to do that, or would you prefer to just stay on the bottom?
I would love to be on the top. I feel like I run way better on the top than I do the bottom. So I feel like, honestly, we're going to be up there pretty early. I feel like the track, has done a really good job of giving 2 lanes that are pretty equal. I was talking to Keselowski walking in, and he felt like we'd be up there in the first 20 laps. So we'll see. It's always a guessing game a little bit, but, hopefully we can get up there. I feel like I'm a lot more comfortable up there and can always carry a little bit more speed up there.
Well, Chase, you have a great starting position, and with those dogs on your car, it probably won't be too rough for you to get to the front.
Yeah, I hope not. Hopefully we can keep them clean and hopefully get them in victory lane. That would be pretty cool.
Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
I don't think he got my joke.
I don't think he did either.
Did anybody get my joke? Rough to get to the front? But never mind. Okay, so Larry, you mentioned Joe Gibbs Racing at the top.
We wonder a lot, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's okay. You mentioned Joe Gibbs Racing at the top of the show. Let's look at Joe Gibbs Racing and Stuart Haas Racing. They certainly have led the way in this series this season.
And they're almost a complete overlay. Now, let's take Kyle Busch in the 18 car and let's slide them aside. They run the full schedule, but with different drivers. But let's look at Stuart Haas Racing, Cole Custer and Chase Briscoe, and then let's look at Joe Gibbs Racing, Brandon Jones and Christopher Bell, and compare those 2 teams to each other with those 2 drivers. They each have won a race. They have 5 top 5s. They have 8 top 10s. Cole Custer and Christopher Bell, both in the top 3 of points. It's almost a complete overlay when you take Kyle Busch out of the equation and the 18 car.
These 2 teams leading the way, right?
Well, I hate to repeat what Larry said, but if you take Kyle Busch out of the equation, I don't think there is one organization that's dominant. RCR is leading the points with Tyler Reddick, and he's been a contender every single race. And Junior Motorsports won Daytona this year with Mike Lynette. And like I said, I think Justin Allgaier will be competitive today. So
you don't think that saying what he's saying, but you also have kind of thrown these other teams into the mix.
Well, yeah, because I don't think there's one organization, when you take Kyle Busch out of it, that is the dominant one right now.
A while ago, did you mean the Little family or the Little family?
Like the Jamie Little.
Oh, I thought you meant the little.
No, the
Larry's jokes are worse than yours.
They do have the little dogs on there. I'm not going to tell any more jokes today. I've retired. So straight ahead, Regan Smith, he caught up with Harrison Burton, who has some big shoes to fill as he is minutes away from his Xfinity debut. He's driving the powerful number 18 car. The rookie is next with Race Day right here on FS1.
18 is on point.
To the town of our free rode a stranger one fine day.
The 18 car has been absolutely fantastic.
Hardly spoke to folks around him, didn't have too much to say.
I'd put my money on the 18, I think.
No one dared to ask his business, no one dared to make a slip. The stranger there among them had a big iron on his hip. Big iron on his hip. It was early in the morning when he rode.
Welcome back to Race Day. Shannon, Larry, and Jamie. And Larry, of all people, know that racing certainly can be a family business. But unlike construction or restaurants, parents start their kids very, very early in this line of work. How early? Well, for Harrison Burton, son of Jeff Burton, he climbed into a go-kart when he was 2 years old. 16 years later, he prepares to make his Xfinity Series debut today, and Regan Smith spent some time with him.
Harrison Burton is going to run 8 races for Joe Gibbs Racing in the Xfinity Series behind the wheel of that 18 car. He'll make his series debut this weekend at Bristol.
What's it mean to your family for you to be making this step to the next level and doing it in such a big way?
For me and my family, it's kind of just a way of life, you know. My dad raced Cup for 20 years, and I've been racing since I was 5 years old, so that's a long time to be in a race car, and my whole family, my mom thought she was getting out of it, and then I got into it, and now she's back at the racetrack.
How do you, as you take this next step in your career, differentiate yourself from your dad and become your own driver?
Yeah, and that's something that's tough. You know, you always get compared to your dad. You see it with Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney, guys like that. You know, they're always compared to their dads, and that's great. You know, I have a great relationship with my dad, but me and my dad both want me to be my own man, and they almost kind of pushed me away from racing when I was younger because they wanted me to be my own guy and not just do something because my dad did it.
This is how legends are made.
For first race this weekend, kind of a big deal. How excited are you?
I'm really excited. You know, it's a step that I've always been kind of looking at, even since I was a little kid. You know, as my career progresses, this is something that I can always look back at and say, wow, I got to race an Xfinity race, and no matter how it goes from here on out, I can at least say that, and I'll be pretty happy with that.
This is how legends are made.
This is a tough racetrack. You've got a K&N win here, a couple poles as well. But this is the next step up. The Xfinity Series is much harder. What are your expectations for the race?
Well, I always have high expectations for myself. Whenever you get into a new series, it's hard because you don't really have any notes on how other people race you. So that's going to be kind of fun to learn. But as far as for myself, just do what the car will allow me. I think the best thing is if the car is capable of winning, try to win, right? That's what we're here to do. But you also have to be realistic and say, if we're not dominating, just scrape out a top 5, a top 10, and make that happen before you get too far ahead of yourself and try and make a mistake while trying to overachieve. So I think the biggest thing for me is just take what the car will give me, and with Joe Gibbs, normally that's a lot. So hopefully I'll be running up front.
Really great job by Regan Smith. Before I ask your questions, raise your hand if it makes you feel old, seeing Harrison Burton at 18 years old.
Everything makes Larry feel old, though.
I never worked on a car that ran the beach, though.
Separate the two of them. Okay, Jamie, when you look at him, right, he has a rookie stripe on the back of his car this weekend, but he is not like most rookies. And just take the pedigree out, right? There's a lot of other things that have given him experience coming into today's race.
Yeah, I mean, getting to be in that car this weekend, that's a big deal, and that's a huge opportunity, but it can go the other way because there's a lot of pressure on himself to perform because of where the 18 car has been this year. But he said something in that piece that I have always thought about Harrison. As I've watched him race over the years, he never drives beyond his ability or tries to get too much out of the car. If he has a 5th place car, he tries to run 5th, at 10th, 15th, whatever that is. And I think that's so important, and that's one of the hardest lessons as a young driver is just take what the car gives you and don't drive over your head.
That is the number one thing that you hear crew chiefs talk about young drivers when you would walk through that garage. Larry, you have a son, as I mentioned. Brandon races. So advice to him, and I know that Harrison has his dad, but I mean, what's a fatherly advice that you would give a young driver?
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet it's the same advice that Jeff Burton gave him before this weekend. And this is one of 8 races he's going to be in that 18 car. He's going to be driving it a lot, but I like what he said, and Jamie kind of alluded to it. Don't worry about overachieving. Don't worry about what this 18 car has done. This is your first career Xfinity Series start. Don't worry about those win stickers up above that door. They should have just pulled those off. Go out there, take what the car will give you. Don't worry about the scoreboard, and let's try to run all the laps. That would be a great start for him in his first start, especially of all places at Bristol.
By the way, how many drivers make their very first start in Xfinity at Bristol? I know that it's because of the size of the track, but it's one of the toughest, and it's just so interesting.
Well, it'll put him to the test, and as I mentioned, he and Kyle Weatherman both making their first career start there this afternoon.
It's funny that you use that word test, because I'll be putting both of you to the test a little bit later.
So excited.
We're going to head back out to the racetrack, and we're going to see if the Max can be stumped by some of the drivers in this very special edition of the Pit Walk, as we're getting ready for short track racing from Bristol, straight ahead on FS1.
This week on NASCAR Race Up.
It's Bristol, baby. Are you ready? Unbelievable.
That's right. It's Radioactive on Tuesday. And on Thursday, Elliott Sadler is back for 2 final races. We visit South Boston Speedway with him to reminisce on his career where it all started. That's all this week on NASCAR Race Up. Weeknights 6 p.m. Eastern, only on FS1.
Yay, Elliott Sadler. Can't wait for that on NASCAR Race Hub this week. All right, Stump the Mac time. And Larry, Jamie, you're new to this whole thing. We've been doing this for about 3 years, right? This is our 3rd year.
About 2.5 years too long.
Yeah, well, come on. We have fun. You see, Matt, I don't know what is on Tyler Reddick's head right now. I'm assuming this has something to do with Dolly Parton. And if it does, I love it. Matt, take it away.
Well, usually at this portion of the show, we're running around the grid trying to get last-minute comments from the drivers. The question that I want to ask, are you going to be able to wear that underneath the helmet?
Fortunately, I will be able to take it off before I get in the car. I didn't think this through, honestly. There's a lot of hair up here. I need a bigger helmet to get it all in there.
Well, we're going to try to stump the Max, so go ahead and read your question for the Max.
Well, the question was, what Dolly Parton song was covered by Whitney Houston for the
The Bodyguard.
Bodyguard soundtrack. The last part got me.
I just think
And I'll give you a bonus so you can get it. Elvis tried to cover this as well, and Dolly said no.
Oh, my goodness. So which
What's
Dolly
the
Parton
answer?
song was covered by Whitney Houston for the Bodyguard soundtrack? Come on.
That's your question.
No, it's not.
Bueller.
You going to tell him, Matt? Go ahead.
Ding, ding, ding.
They keep playing Jolene. I'm assuming
That's all I can think of.
All right, so here
all I
it
can
is.
hear.
Go ahead.
It is.
I will always love you.
Thank you. I will always love you.
love
Don't you
you.
remember?
Which is
Her
something
voice.
you probably don't say here in a short track. To Regan.
Okay.
Well, here with Brandon Jones. Brandon, you led a lot of laps in this race last year. How long till we see you up front?
Man, I think last year my car really came to life when we had that long run there on third stage. So I feel like that's, again, the same case today. We're going to try to get a long run in today. I know we've got some short stages. We're going to try to make some points up there as well. But all in all, I think this place owes us one, so we're going to try to get it done.
All right, we're going to stump the Mac right here. Larry Mac, you have to sing this answer, though. That's the only rule.
Oh, my
All
God.
right, Larry, got a question for you here. Finish the lyric. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living, barely getting by.
What's the rest of that verse, Larry Mac?
The something that's on the screen was not what your
Working
question
9 to 5, trying to make a living.
Can I just say that it's not fair that Jolene's playing in the background? Because that's all I can hear. I can't think of anything else right now.
Go ahead, Regan, finish it off for us.
It's all taken and no given, just
There
like
you
it's
go.
going to be at Bristol
Just
today.
like
That's
Bristol.
the answer.
Just like
Matt,
Bristol.
who do you got?
I feel like that this portion of the show has jumped the cushion or jumped the traction compound. So how tricky is this going to be today?
It is going to be super tricky managing that because, you know, we saw in cup practice the lanes were moving around. The speed's still on the bottom, but it never fails. It never fails. It's going to be tricky. So I do have a question, though.
You do, and this could be a tricky question. So what is the question for the Max?
Yeah, which pop star is Dolly Parton's goddaughter?
Ooh.
Goddaughter.
I just
Now,
said her name.
if Larry
Miley
Mack
Cyrus.
could
There you
call
go. We got
his
it.
youngest
Miley
daughter,
Cyrus.
Mary Kendall.
We've already answered it. You don't even have to repeat
There
the
you go.
question.
Miley Cyrus. And by the way, she did an awesome job singing Jolene at the Grammys
I'm
this
glad
year.
we cut Jolene out at that point.
Regan.
All right, Regan.
One last question here. Zane Smith, what's your question?
What is the name of Dolly Parton's theme park?
Larry, surely you can get this one.
Dollywood.
You don't know
Yeah,
this?
there we go.
I didn't realize it. I thought it was one question for Larry,
Bye,
one question
Regan.
for Jamie.
Thank you, Zane. I appreciate it.
Larry,
You gotta
one
hit the
question for
buzzer.
Jamie.
Hey, listen,
we
folks.
need the rules
Sometimes we
defined a
try
little
things
better.
and they work, and sometimes they don't work. But we're going to try it, and we're going to have fun doing it. Dollywood.
Dollywood.
What town's it in?
Pigeon Forge.
Oh, Pigeon Forge.
Is it?
Have you ever been there?
I didn't say I knew the
Tennessee.
answer. I just
Have you
curious
ever
what
been
town it is.
there?
I have been there, yes.
I love that Dolly Parton is on the car today. I really wish that she had. We were actually looking up Dolly Parton quotes.
Give me a famous Dolly Parton
I didn't write
quote.
any one of them down.
If you want to see the rainbow, you got to deal with the rain.
Yeah, that was a good one. Kind of like this show.
What was the one about
Kind of like this show,
blondes?
folks. You got to deal with the rain in order to see the rainbow, which is the race. And the race, by the way, is getting ready. We're going to 300 laps at Bristol Motor Speedway. A lot of young drivers making their first starts at this racetrack. It's going to be fun. Let's go trackside for opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise, remove your hats as the Cherokee High School Navy Junior ROTC presents our nation's colors. Please remain standing as Chaplain Major General Scheich offers our invocation.
Race fans, join me with prayer. Loving God, we thank you for a day only you could have made. Bless every driver and team with a good and safe race. We also pray for your protection on every soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, and Coast Guardsman who this very moment is defending freedoms we can't imagine being without. Finally, thank you for fast cars, bank turns, in another day in the life of land in the free and the home of the brave. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome Emmy Sunshine.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh boy, it's the first short track of the season for the Xfinity Series. Hold on, boys and girls, because we're going Bristol racing when we get back right here on FS1. Aww. We are ready to go racing on FS1 from a short track that's a furious racetrack, Bristol Motor Speedway, and what a crew we have up in the booth calling the race today. Adam Alexander, our guest analyst, Kevin Harvick, and Clint Boyer. Now, Adam, I don't know if you saw Stump the Mac a few minutes ago, but something tells me it's going to be just as chaotic trying to keep that guy in the middle there on the rails for 300 laps. Good luck.
We learned during race day that these two are like an old married couple. There are trying times in any relationship. There are trying times out here on this track, Kevin. It is intense.
It is intense, and as you look at cup practice and saw the grooves spread out, I don't think these guys really know what to expect because they haven't run one lap all the way up in the high groove. So it will be interesting to see what groove they choose at the beginning and who's brave enough to go up there and make speed quick.
Clint, where do you want to be? Low, middle, or high?
You know, out front. You know, that's where you want to be, is out front. But such a challenging, demanding racetrack. Out there in practice earlier, you know, you get lax in the car, and the next thing you know, you're looking over at your lap times. You're like, man, I need to find a 10th. You go, you know, pick up and you just drive it harder, and then there's a lap time. So you've got to be aggressive. You got to attack this racetrack, and we're going to see a lot of that today.
Quick reminder: no cheering in the broadcast booth. You guys are teammates at Stewart-Haas, and your young teammate Cole Custer on the pole. He's fast.
He's been lightning fast, and those guys do a great job when it comes to qualifying and obviously winning the race at California, and the things that they've been doing on the racetrack have been really good.
And he's got plenty of talent to back up that speed, Clint.
Absolutely, all the way through. It's not just him. This is a team sport. The crew chief, everybody, they're on point, and hopefully, maybe they'll get it done. How about that?
It's about time to go. Here we are, trackside.
And now, race fans, for the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome your Grand Marshal, Rooms Division Manager for the Greenbrier, Chad George.
Hello, race fans. On behalf of Alsco and their partnership with America's Resort, the Greenbrier in White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia, welcome to the Alsco 300. And now, what we've all been waiting for. Drivers, start your engines!
The engines have fired. If you like short track racing, you are in the right place. The drivers are ready to roll.
Once again, for the fourth time this year, sitting on the front row. But if you hadn't noticed, we got Dolly Parton and her businesses on our race car. It's bright and pink. Hopefully we get this thing to victory lane.
Super pumped to go out and see what we got. We had a really good effort in qualifying, ended up fifth, so pretty happy with that. Hopefully we can move forward from there and come out with a really good result.
Bristol, I don't know what to think. It's going to be crazy, it's going to be wild, but we're having a good time. We're going to put on one hell of a show for you guys.
For a second, for a minute, can we go? For a second, for a minute, can we go? For a second.
Makes history at Bristol Motor Speedway today. The NASCAR Xfinity Series competing here for the 74th time. But off the top, we talked about our pole sitter, Cole Custer. He's got talent. So does his teammate. Let's go from the driver's seat with Chase Briscoe starting third here today.
Hey, Chase, this is Kevin up in the Fox booth. In cup practice, it seemed like that high line really came in. You're starting on the bottom and have practiced on the bottom. Are you ready for the top, and how long do you think you're going to be able to run on the bottom of the racetrack?
Yeah, you know, I personally would rather get to the top and feel like I do a little bit better up there. So, you know, starting on the bottom is obviously going to be a little bit of a problem, but it seems like we can probably maintain a little bit. But yeah, I feel like we're definitely going to be racing on the top. It felt like our car was pretty good up there yesterday, so hopefully we can keep the shots forward up front and do what we can do.
Hey, Chase, it's Boyer up here. So Kevin and I have both been out here on the racetrack. We've kind of got a feel for the high and low line like he was saying, but you got neutral chomps on your car. What's the hardest thing? Letting the track chomp you down or the competition? What do you think is going to be the most difficult thing here?
Oh, it's tough. They're both so hard. So I don't know. I feel like this place you just got to race the racetrack, and you know it's a rhythm racetrack, but it's kind of hard to get in the rhythm when we're racing here. But the competition will certainly be good. It should be a heck of a race today. So the fans are definitely in for a treat.
Well, keep us on his feet. We're looking forward to watching you, buddy. Good luck.
You guys.
Those dogs in his car are Jamie Little's. She's not working with us today. Covering the pit lane, Matt Yoakum and Regan Smith. What do you have for us, fellas?
Well, the fun meter is definitely paid for all of us here in Thunder Valley, but especially Christopher Bell starting on the outside of row 4. He's never won here at Bristol. His best finish was second last August. He really wants a trophy from this place. It's his favorite racetrack. He told me you can be as aggressive as you want to be. The last 5 short track races, Regan Smith, he has 3 firsts and 2 seconds.
Well, Christopher Bell's teammate, Brandon Jones, qualified 13 today. He led laps in this race a year ago, likes this racetrack. The good news for him is that he's going to have the second best pit stall on pit road based on where he qualified at Texas last week. He's got the first stall on the backstretch. He looks to gain spots using this pit stall. Adam?
Brandon Jones' word of the season has been confidence. He's gotten better and better in that category, and those 100 laps he led here a season ago should help out today at Bristol. He's not one of the 4 drivers eligible for the Dash for Cash. This event, all about series regulars, will give an additional $100,000 to one of the 4 drivers eligible today. Annette, Reddick, Bell, and Briscoe. You don't have to win. You just have to be the best finisher among those 4. This is an awesome program.
It is an awesome program, and I think as you look at $100,000 extra for one of these Xfinity teams, that's a big deal. You know, the budgets are tight on a week-to-week basis, and these guys are doing everything they can to get to the racetrack. So winning that Dash for Cash money is definitely a goal because it definitely makes a difference for the team.
It's that eye on the prize, right? I mean, you get down to the end of this thing, you're getting a little bit wore out, you're getting restless, you're getting frustrated right on the racetrack, your car's starting not to handle. That incentivization right there, $100,000, that's a big deal, big opportunity for those 4 guys.
You mentioned frustration. How about Zane Smith coming from the back? Let's hear from his teammate, Justin Allgaier.
Appreciate all the hard work this week. Got a hot rod. I know it's going to be a frustrating day because it's going to be hard to pass. So I'll give you everything I got here. Y'all know that. Come see you a couple times. Probably not too many, but come see you a couple times. Good stops today and try to put this thing in victory lane. So.
He understands patience is key.
He understands that today's race is going to have some strategy in it with the way that these tires don't fall off.
That's exactly what these 2 races heard out of that. It's going to be interesting to see how these cautions fall, how long they can make it and stretch these tires.
Cole Custer on the pole takes the outside lane. Inside belongs to Tyler Reddick. Row 2, Austin Cindric, Chase Briscoe. Green flag is waving. We're underway at Thunder Valley.
Really had a good jump there, but you can see that 2-car. Reddick really fired back off, got into 1 really, really hard.
Yeah, we saw Cole pick the outside there, and that was definitely the lane that it looks like they're going to prefer. You see Cole get really loose up off the corner right there. He picked the outside, and that top groove is going to take a little bit to get run in, but once it gets run in, I believe the top groove is going to be the place to be.
I think so. The key right there, Kevin, you said it. Whoa, 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 Bell
into the wall,
just
Bell.
A little bit. That ain't going to hurt him.
Yeah, especially with these bodies. You've got those composite bodies on these Xfinity cars, so rubbing the wall a little bit's not going to end your day for sure.
doesn't even see a little bit of scar action. But I think the biggest thing there is just what you alluded to earlier. They haven't seen this racetrack. We were on it last with our cup practice. That outside line is something, that's a rhythm thing. It's something you got to tiptoe out there and figure it out.
Here's what happened to Christopher Bell.
Well, that top groove is just slick until it gets everything blown off of it, and it's not all the way up where it needs to be yet. But as these cars run, it will definitely blow the... Yeah, just slippery up there right now. And these guys start on used tires, and this is a racetrack that, you know, the traction compound takes a little while to run in. The top groove takes a little while to run in. But, you know, as the cars race around, they have to be side by side so the lanes get cleaned off after you run 5 or 6 laps.
And your air pressure is a big part of that, right? You got to start these runs, these long runs. You're expecting long runs. You have to start with your air pressure low, and that's going to make the car squirrely. Just trying to get a little bit too much too early. But he's off to the races now for sure.
I thought Reddick might have a chance to get Custer, hung around for a few laps, but now Custer pulling away opens the door for Justin Allgaier. How important is the outside lane at the start or a restart? Allgaier went 6th, but because he was on the outside, has already put himself up to the 3rd position.
Yeah, but right now you can see everybody kind of migrating back to the bottom of the racetrack because that traction compound's got a little more grip in it than the top does.
2 underdogs, Ross Chastain, Ryan Sieg, having good weekends. Both made the final round of qualifying earlier today. Inside the top dozen, behind them, the 19 of Brandon Jones, the 1 of Michael Annett. He is Dash for Cash eligible. Talking about Annett.
Yeah, but I want to back up a little bit. You said it. This track is the ultimate equalizer. This is the one place you can get up on the wheel. You can make up for a little bit. This isn't an aero thing, you know. Aero is a big part of any racetrack, but you really don't worry about and focus and talk about aero like you would last week at Texas for us. Here, you got to have them shocks and springs working and making them tires make grip.
We've already seen the lap cars be somewhat of a factor. It doesn't matter where you are. Leading, 15th place, 20th place. A lot to manage at Bristol.
Well, as you hear the spotter talking right there, he's a big part of what's going to happen today, because what's going to happen here is the bottom, everybody's going to run the bottom, and they're going to start getting tight on the bottom. And when you get to a lap time that you believe you can run on the top, you're going to want to go up there, because that's when it's going to start flipping lanes. But right now, until the lap time slows down enough on the bottom, you're going to stay on the bottom.
I think this is where they're yelling at you. Something about patience. Yeah. Patience goes a long ways at a track like this.
Harrison Burton making his first career start, checking every box.
Well, and that's just Austin Cindric being early in the race and feeling like the 18 car was of Harrison Burton was faster than him, and he didn't want to put himself in a position to where he thought he was going to get pressured up a bunch and make a mistake.
Cindric back to 5th. 4th right now for Harrison Burton, and just behind them, the 98 of Chase Briscoe, 23 of John Hunter Nemechek. A lot of truck experience here for him. Raced in Xfinity competition a season ago, and joining them, another rookie, the 9 of Noah Gregson, making his Bristol debut. Clean and green in the early going. 16 down at Bristol. Cole Custer, the pole sitter, has led them all. We said lap traffic would be a factor, and it has been. Cole Custer losing the race lead right here. Tyler Reddick to the inside, goes to the #1 position, and they're racing around fast cars. That's the 51 of Jeremy Clements, now a lap down, and the 8 of Zane Smith. We're having a great time at Bristol. Coming up next, Rangers Angels. It's a Major League Baseball doubleheader. That one starts at 4, then over to the National League. It's the Cubs and Brewers at 7, all on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. Tyler Reddick has grabbed the lead out front for the first time at Bristol, and not afraid to put it on the edge, running out by the wall.
Well, we talked about that a little bit before the race, before we came on the air, Clint and I, and just how good Tyler Reddick is at running that top groove. He's a lot like Kyle Larson. He will be right up next to that black, and every lap it'll just be a little bit higher and a little bit higher. But his advantage over Cole Custer in traffic was he was able to run that high groove a little bit better, a little bit wider on entrance and exit. And it got worse for Cole because he lost another spot to Justin Allgaier.
And a little contact, got a donut.
Just a little. Commitment, though. I use the word commitment a lot when you're talking about that outside line. It's just like Kevin said, you have to enter with your right sides on it. And if that thing's a little bit loose getting in, you're protecting a little bit, right? You're trying to straighten up, narrow up your entrance a little bit. That only hurts you on a long run as you're leaning harder and harder and harder on the front tires. Clearly, we can see that Reddick's car is a little bit neutral, a little bit more free than Cole's is, and Allgaier as well. But let me tell you, man, when I grew up racing in Kansas City, there was a guy that had a paint car. And I mean to tell you, he was a bad, bad man. I've always said, if you're going to have a pink car, you got to be a bad man. And right now, Tyler Reddick is definitely being just that.
That's not just any pink car. I was going to say, that's just not a pink car.
I'm telling you. Yeah, and to represent Dolly Parton,
I know you've got a favorite Dolly song. What is it?
Hey, I just dig Dollywood. I tell you, I'm a family man, you're a family man. You want to have a good time, Dollywood's about as good a time as you can have.
Dolly Parton has more #1 hits than Tyler Reddick has top 5s. How's that for a stat? What do you have, Matt?
Well, Harrison Burton currently running in the 4th position. A lot of different opportunities. He could have talked to his father, so many different drivers to help prepare him for Bristol. Instead, he watched hours of in-car video just trying to see the rhythm and the lines, learning and preparing for here. His spotter, the High Plains drifter, Rick Corelli, helping him from on top of the spotter stand, telling him, don't overdrive it, which he did a couple times, but also change up his line. Don't come down the hill so soon on his exit of 1 and 2.
He did win a K&N East race here, but I'm not sure that really prepares you for what he's getting into today.
Something. This is trial by fire right here. When you get into this lap traffic and you've got another car racing for position right on your back bumper, the decisions have to happen quick and sometimes blind.
Well, here's another mess. You got Noah Gregson, the 23 of John Hunter Nemechek, and right behind him, Christopher Bell. This is tough, and we're just in the middle of stage 1, Regan.
Well, John Hunter Nemechek up 2 positions from his 10th place starting spot. He talked to Kyle Larson, his former teammate at Ganassi Racing, a bunch this weekend, including right after happy hour. Kyle was giving him tips on running the top line. He was one of the very first cars to try that top line out. We see him on the bottom right now, though, as he works lap traffic. Matt?
Regan, you saw the 20 car step out from Christopher Bell at the beginning of the race. It fired off on the free side. Now it swung to the tight side. He told me the one thing that he loves about Bristol and Martinsville is what he's experiencing now, trying to maneuver his way through traffic. That's the fun part racing here at Bristol.
Did we say this was going to be intense?
I wish we just had a picture of Matt Yoakum grabbing the mic right there. Oh.
Caution out. First time today. The 4 of Ross Chastain. Such a good start to the afternoon.
Man, I hate to see that.
Well, looks like a left rear tire down for sure. Must have got into somebody, and you see that a lot here. You'll get together with somebody in traffic or something else, cut that left rear down, away you go.
Jeff Green also got damage there in the 38. Green, a former champion, also a winner here at Bristol. Chastain was 13th when he had his problem.
The hard part about this place is there's nowhere to hide. And even if you're a lap car or lead car, you can get into a mess and not even know it, and it's over.
Hard to see at top right of your screen.
Oh. Got loose underneath of him. Green just got loose underneath of him, got up into him. It's plain and simple. It looked like it cut his tire down right there and peeled the back end off. It's just unfortunate. Bad place. Just like Kevin said, there is no place to hide here. You're always in harm's way, and you're reacting to everything as you come up on a lapper, or you come up on a car to pass, or you're in traffic, whatever the case may be, you're always reacting, and it's a quick reaction at this
Plus,
place.
you're on the edge of wrecking every lap anyway by yourself, because the only way to go fast is to be right on that ragged edge.
Green straight to the garage. Heavy damage for Chastain. You saw them not working too quickly on his race car, so you got to feel like there's a chance his day is done. Tyler Reddick is leading. Allgaier, Custer, Cindric, Briscoe, and Burton up there inside the top 5.
Hey, race race fans, it's Dolly. I just wanted to pop in and wish Tyler Reddick and the number 2 Richard Childers racing team good luck this Saturday at the race at Bristol Motor Speedway. Now, I'm sad that I'm going to miss it. I can't be there in person, but I'm excited to be watching it on TV. Hope to see my car in the victory lane at the end of it.
Dolly, so far, so good. Tyler Reddick is leading. And you guys said a pink car sends a message. What about the wig pre-race? What message does this send to the competition?
I'm thinking he needs to let Dolly be Dolly. He's not a very good Dolly.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he might have carried it one step too far.
But I tell you, what an opportunity for him. What a neat lady. My gosh, everything that she's done for country music, for the entertainment, movie business, she's done it all. One of the neatest things that she does is her book program. My kids receive a book, all the time in the mail, and we read them together. That's something that she's done. It's a great program, giving those books to millions of kids over the world.
Free pass Greg Alding, that's big for him. Scored in the 14th position. Michael Annette, last car on the lead lap, so he stays on the lead lap. The caution helped him as well, and they're pushing Ross Chastain back to the garage. His day will be done. Back under the green flag as we complete lap 49.
You can see that outside line certainly prevails, up off it with the drive. But, man, I tell you, you can get into the bottom in turn 1 really, really hard. And, Allgaier, they really hung in there pretty well. But I'm telling you, Kevin, you've said it. You alluded to it earlier. That outside line is finally showing up.
Yeah, especially as they work it up the racetrack into that ground lane a little bit higher and the exit gets a little bit wider. The unique thing on the restarts right here, too, is the
Burton Custer.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he's definitely had a run there and got run into the wall pretty bad there. But, hey, that's Bristol, man. You have a run, you're pushing it hard on restarts and stuff like that. Sometimes that spotter didn't quite, maybe he cleared him up. And you just have to be so aggressive here. Sometimes stuff like that happens. I hope that it doesn't hurt his chances later on. We'll see.
He had that outside lane on a restart, did Burton. And I thought he was going to make it work around Custer. Cole wouldn't go away, and eventually they tangled coming off the corner.
Still there.
But I am impressed with these bodies. He hit pretty hard. That was a pretty good lick. I think he's got a little bit of left front damage as well, but you can see, we'll see. Time will tell on these long runs if that body damage hurts it or not. But these bodies are plenty tough.
Here it is, Kevin.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you come out of that traction compound, you get tight, but
that's a pretty hard lick for both of them, actually.
Both of them hit the wall pretty hard, but sometimes you lose the front end coming off the corner, and then the guy gets hung on your right rear, and you can't let off the gas until those cars enough to get those cars to detach.
The other thing about being that bottom car like Cole Custer, and this is no kidding, that car gets on your outside like that, like Kevin said, you lift, and it just keeps taking your front end off more and more and more. It's like it takes the air off your back of your car, and the thing just keeps going up the racetrack.
Wants to drive it straight.
Yeah.
Noah Gragson led laps last weekend at Texas, making it work early today. He's 7th. Nice little gaggle right here with Gragson, Nemechek, Haley Bell. They're all running together.
There's a lot of racing going on all around the racetrack. I love this race for the lead. Man, I tell you, Justin Allgaier, he's on him, buddy. He's dogging him. It's going to be interesting to see when they get into traffic. That's the coolest thing about this place. You're feeling pretty comfortable out there, a handful of confidence when you're running out there in that clean air. You start looking up and seeing that traffic coming. You better get a game plan together.
I feel like Allgaier's car is very versatile. I feel like he can run the bottom. Reddick got the lead because he could run the top better, but I feel like Allgaier can go to the top, he can go to the bottom, and now we see Reddick go back to the bottom. So both of those cars seem to be more versatile than some of the guys that they're racing behind. It's one thing to catch a guy in the top lane and once you get to him and start working traffic when you have to go bottom, top, middle, and move all over the racetrack. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when they start catching the back of this field.
Despite that caution, it's been a fast-moving stage 1. Only 25 laps to go. Tyler Reddick continues to lead, but Allgaier hanging tough here at Bristol. Allgaier's not led a lap all year. How hard is that to believe?
To the fans who've been here from the beginning and the new ones along the way, to those who've witnessed history and those who've made their own, you've made the last 50 years go by fast, and we're not slowing down. This is Talladega. Just when you thought the biggest, baddest track in NASCAR couldn't get any better, we broke ground on Transformation, the Talladega Superspeedway infield project to enhance the fan experience. Check it out in 2019 if you're big and bad enough.
Mike Trout, the league's best player. He can do everything. He can steal bags. He drives in runs. He scores runs. He's finished no less than 5th in any year he's ever been in the MVP. I mean, that's unbelievable.
We got to get Mike Trout to the playoffs.
Yes. The Milwaukee Brewers finally beat the Cubs. They had fun last year. It's going to be a great division to watch.
I think the Cubs get right back where they want to. Bryant's going to be healthier. Mr. Consistent Rizzo.
Watch out for the Cubs.
Delicious union of all time is back. Kentucky Fried Chicken and Waffles for a limited time at KFC.
You have to be perfect. Every week matters, every one of them. Nothing ever goes to plan.
I can't see. I put a helmet on and I become a different person.
It's gonna get crazy.
Being able to go that fast and make split-second decisions. It's 140 degrees inside the race car and you can't afford to make a mistake.
If you're not tired, you didn't drive hard enough.
I'm glad that we were side by side during that break because you have been able to witness how good the racing is. Here's Nemechek, Jones, and Gregson. And up front, it continues to be incredible as Reddick dances around the lap cars and Allgaier stays right in those tire tracks.
Yeah, and the groove keeps getting higher and higher, especially through the middle of turns 1 and 2 where they are right now. And that just means that they're carrying more momentum.
Yeah, you can see on the exits, you know, Kevin, you said under break, I wonder why they're not running as high. Look at the rubber on the top of the racetrack right there on the exit. You're tiptoeing around that. That's something you're going to slowly but surely move up. You get up there right now, you're going to wish you didn't.
Yeah, it'll grab the front of the race car like a magnet, just suck you right into the outside
Next
wall.
thing it's going to grab is that outside wall.
How anxious do you get? I mean, this is the end of stage 1. We know the importance of playoff points and all those things. But put yourself in Allgaier's shoes. How do you approach these last 10 laps of the stage?
Well, you don't want to tear up your car, but you want the point. So, like we talked earlier, this is a racetrack that you have to be very aggressive every lap. You want to do everything that you can. You want to put as much pressure on Reddick as you can without tearing up the race car.
The points one thing. You also want the lead, man. The lead's such a big thing going to the pits, having that, lead, clean air, the option to move wherever you want to move in traffic instead of wherever the guy in front of you moves. I mean, that's the thing about him right now. As you catch lap traffic and they give him the outside or maybe give him the bottom, you're kind of forced to run in his line. And when you do that, your car doesn't have as much grip. What a traffic jam now, baby.
Burton, Cendric, Briscoe, Bell, they're all fighting for position through the lap cars.
You think some points are on the line here? They're thinking points.
Well, they're all in the top 10 and in position to score, but one wrong move and you'll find yourself out of the points equation at the end of this stage.
I think I made the championship 4 by 1 point last year, so they matter right now. Every week that 1 point plus or minus matters.
Tyler Reddick does have a stage win this year, and I said it going to break earlier. Allgaier has not led a lap in 2019. That's after winning 5 races a season ago.
Man, he's trying. He's giving it all he's got on the bottom, trying to catch him before they catch this lap traffic, get the job done.
Well, and the lap cars are in 2 different lanes, so it'll be interesting to see which one migrates forward on the outside, it looks like.
At 07, Ray Black Jr., 78, Vinnie Miller, parked right in front of our race leaders as we come back with 4 remaining.
And those guys that are going a lap down right here, they know how close they are to the end of the stage. They don't want to go a lap down, so Ray Black Jr. is going to race all he can to try to stay on the lead lap.
Spotters playing such a huge role in a situation like this too.
Back inside. Top is clear. Still
That's good racing right there. Only this place can do that.
Yeah, and you saw Reddick go in the middle lane right there, and he kind of slid, and luckily Ray Black Jr. lifted to give him a lane.
I do, though, like the run that Reddick's getting off the high side. A lot of momentum coming there.
I really believe, I'm sorry, Clint, I really believe that Justin Allgaier has the faster car right now, but the lap times just haven't dropped off a ton. I believe he'd drive off. I interrupted you twice.
No, they're literally running pretty close to the same lap times they started the race on. I mean, this tire's just not falling off a lot, but as he looks at... Man,
final lap, stage 1, and you said if he gets by him, he's going to pull away. Did he ever? Allgaier picked the best time to get out front. He's going to see that green and white checkered flag, and it's the driver from Illinois that wins our opening stage here at Bristol. Reddick settles for second after leading 59 laps. Custer started on the pole, led 25. He was third. Burton and Cindric complete the top 5. It hasn't been a great month for Justin Allgaier. Maybe this will get him back on track, looking for his second Bristol victory. Stage 1 complete for the NASCAR Xfinity Series here at Bristol Motor Speedway with Kevin Harvick, Clint Boyer. I'm Adam Alexander. Justin Allgaier wins this first 85-lap shootout, and there is a really good reason why he was able to get the top spot away from Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, just a really odd set of circumstances, and you'll hear it play out on the radio.
Top is clear. Still inside door. Back to 1 to go. Stay up top. 74 slow bottom.
There it is right there. Coming back to 1 to go. Tyler Reddick thought he was coming to it. Right here, 1 to go. It's clearly not. I knew when this thing came to an end right here how Tyler just gave him that spot as easy as he did and then fell off. He clearly didn't understand that that wasn't the checkered flag.
I was giving you all the credit for saying how much faster the 7 was, Kevin, and as it turns out, he was a lot faster because Reddick backed out of the throttle. Everybody going to come down pit road here at the end of stage 1. They're coming your way, Regan.
On the right-hand side of the screen, you see the 11 car of Justin Haley. He pits from the 8th position. His race car is too tight in the center, and to exit, it's a number 2 to 3 tight. He's using the number system. On the left-hand side of the screen, the 98 car of Chase Briscoe. His race car is too tight, but he's too loose in and off. He needs help with that. The race team warned him about pit road being very dirty back here as he got to his pit stall. 4 tires for him. Matt?
And it seems like forever it takes for the leaders to come around to the front stretch pits. Starting out with the 7 car, you can see the team going to work. He won from the middle when he scored his very first win here at Bristol as Justin Allgaier. The car lacking grip on exit. They're going to slight change in air pressure to fix that. Meanwhile, the 20 is in. Of Christopher Bell, you can already see the wrench in the back window. They're going to adjust, trying to change his balance on the 20 machine. And also, you can see the cosmetic damage in the 00. He got into the 7 of Allgaier earlier on, and then you also saw him catch a little bit of the fence. An adjustment on the 00 as well.
Allgaier Reddick 1-2 off pit road, Matt. Bell goes +4. He has that #1 pit stall after winning the pole last weekend at Texas Motor Speedway. Good stop for the 98 of Chase Briscoe as well.
Well, that's the easiest place to pass him.
Yeah.
Pass him on pit road.
No question.
Hey, Justin, this is Kevin up in the Fox booth. Got you a stage win there, led some laps, and now you get to see what your car's like up there in the front of the pack. So how's it handling? How's the top versus the bottom?
Yeah, our Armor Vienna Sausage Camaro's really good today. You know, the track is changing a lot. You know, I was a little bit surprised how quickly the top came in for you guys in cup practice. And over the course of this run, you know, it seems like both lanes are pretty good. You got to be really careful whichever lane you're on. It doesn't take much to kind of blow past the grip that there is available. So we'll keep going here. We have a really fast car, and you know, track position is so important. So having a good pit stop definitely helped, like we just did. And now we just got to go out there and try to do it again for another 80-some laps.
All right, Justin. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Kevin.
He won here 2010 with Team Penske, trying to get his second this afternoon. Stage 1 goes to Justin Allgaier. Just about time to go green in our second stage here at Bristol for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Stage 1 went to Justin Allgaier, and a bit of a miscommunication for the two of Tyler Reddick and his spotter Derek Nealon coming to the end of stage 1.
I said, I'm sorry about that. I've never done that before. I don't know how I missed that, but I'll make sure it doesn't happen going forward. Sorry, pal. We'll get it back.
So disappointing because Reddick led 61 laps and you felt like he was the guy there in that first stage.
Well, he'd done a really good job in not making mistakes and keeping Justin Allgaier behind him, who I believe has a faster race car at this particular point. But the downside to the whole thing is it let the faster race car, who had a good pit stop, take control of the race. Now he's going to choose his lane on the restart, and he's going to hopefully keep that lead and have that track position in clean air.
But it's a team sport. Everybody makes mistakes. Time to shake that off. New stage, new opportunity. Go back after him. You're still second. You're still lined up right beside him. So when it all shakes out, look at him. The opportunity's still. Time to shake that off. New stage, new opportunity. Go back after him. You're still second. You're still lined up right beside him. So when it all shakes out, look at him. The opportunity's still there to take the lead right here on this restart. But somebody's going to have to answer to Dolly. I don't know. Maybe she'd been already on the phone, but who knows?
Well, both teams did their job on pit road as we look at our Xfinity fastest.
Let's take the lead right here on this restart. But somebody's going to have to answer to Dolly. I don't know. Maybe she'd been already on the phone, but who knows?
Well, both teams did their job on pit road as we look at our Xfinity fastest pit stops. Best of the bunch, Justin Allgaier at 14.4, and Christopher Bell in as good a position as he's been all day. They had a 14.5-second stop, and we need to highlight the 8 of Zane Smith. Engine change went to the back. That crew came in at 5 o'clock this morning. He went a lap down, got the free pass. He restarts 13th. Good for him, making his Bristol debut, second career start in the Xfinity Series today.
When you were talking about the car being tight, when you moved up your entry, made your entry higher, did you tell a big difference how it turns? It's not going to turn unless you're in the rubber or in the tank bottom.
Exactly. Like that's what my deal is right now. That's helping me so much down 3 and 4. So I get in that shade, it helps.
Adam, not a bad voice to have in your radio. That was team owner Dale Earnhardt Jr. giving him some advice as to how to get around this racetrack. Mission accomplished so far. They stayed on the lead lap that first stage.
Well, and what Dale is telling him is very important because it's really hard, unless you've done it a lot, to roll enough speed and be high enough on the entrance to the corner, because if you're not doing those two things, you won't go through the center fast enough.
I can tell you this was hot.
No surprise. Allgaier, the control car, takes the outside lane for the restart. Stage 2 off and rolling at Bristol.
And you see that middle's
Get up and shut it, half back in line.
That middle's able to work right there because as the cars go around the racetrack under caution, it picks all the rubber up, and you're able to run through the middle of the racetrack for a couple laps.
Nemechek making it 3 wide.
3 wide, 2 wide with a 23. You're okay, keep digging here. Can't leave that middle open there.
Harrison Burton drifting up in the 18.
Get her wound up here.
This is always my favorite time of the race, right after everybody's had an opportunity to get in, put new tires on, get an adjustment to whatever they were fighting. Man, I tell you what, same old Christopher Bell, though, he's still really, really loose.
Saw the damage for the 18 of Harrison Burton. Cole Custer had a lot of damage as well. He restarted outside the top 10. We'll keep an eye on him. And he's back there racing with Bell, who's going the wrong way right now.
Yeah, and his car it was loose in qualifying. It's been loose since the first lap of the green flag dropped, and it's just loose right there. So they definitely got to get that car tightened up.
Yeah, he's got his hands full, but I can tell you, experience here. How many times have you practiced, Kevin, and worked on, man, I needed to turn better, I needed to turn better. Keep freeing it up, keep freeing it up. You keep going faster in practice. All of a sudden, you drop the green flag the next day, and you got your hands full.
Well, and the thing to remember about these cars is they never practiced a lap up in that very top groove. They may have run up the racetrack in the middle and kind of up the racetrack 3/4. They haven't been at the top of the racetrack like they are right now, and that's where Christopher Bell wants to run.
you always need to be a little bit tighter up there than you do on the bottom.
A lot warmer today, too, more sunshine. How much does that impact the handling of these cars?
Oh, a lot. It definitely makes the track slicker. The biggest thing for me right now, though, is just watching that bottom, watching the sticky stuff on the bottom, whatever we're going to call it.
Traction
compound. You're still able to make the lap time down there, but you run out of real estate. Those guys that are running the outside, when you get that run, you squirt the middle, get a handful of gas, a handful of wheel, you come up there, you need all the racetrack, but there's a guy on your outside. Just crazy fast speeds. For me, looking at the lap times, looking at the fall off, fastest lap on the racetrack for Allgaier has been a 15.72, running a 15.84 right now. Not a lot of fall off in these tires at all.
Well, the thing that's going to happen if it stays that way, and depending upon if the caution comes out at the right time in that final stage, there will be some strategy that comes into play before this race is over, just because of that track position game that is going to have to be played because the fall off isn't there.
25 laps into our second stage. Things have kind of calmed down, as much as they ever do at Bristol. So let's crank it up. Sponsored by Kawasaki.
In line with you, 3 back. Still inside the 18. Go 2 back, 20, just maintain it. Inside corner. Still right in line, just 18 working the bottom. Still there at your door. Corner, they're by half. Back inside, very bottom. Just 18 on the bottom at your door. Still inside corner, very bottom. Inside, at your door. Corner, clear. By 1, by 2 to the top. 1 back in line, so 1 back to the bottom. 20's will be the one to watch. Now 2 back in line. Half in line, right on you. Right on in, trying to turn downhill. Go by half.
I love listening to the spotters here. It's so good.
I loved watching that race. I think that's a prime example of the frustration that sets in when you're running on the bottom, trying to make a pass like Harrison Burton was, and the discipline that it takes to run the outside. You heard him waiting on that throttle. You saw Harrison Burton squeezing on the bottom, beating him to the center, but on that exit, because of the discipline, waiting on that throttle enabled him to go on and prevail on that position for sure. So it was a lot of fun for me as well.
They must have made some adjustments on that 2 car, Kevin.
Yeah, and right now Tyler Reddick is better than the 7 car. It's kind of swung the other way, and the 2 things that I've seen are he's wider on the entry and the exit of turns 1 and 2. That's really where he's making up his most time.
Custer's coming back too.
Absolutely, Custer. There was a lot of damage on that car.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
Yeah, he fell back quite a bit as they took the time to make the right adjustments, fix the damage. A lot of tape on that right side. The deck lid was separated. A lot of the aero things that we talk about a lot as teams was definitely apparent on that.
Now, wait a second. Wait a second. Before the race started, you said we don't worry about aero.
Hey, about the time that thing's all over the place, tap dancing on top of the racetrack, that's when you start complaining about aero.
Closing on the halfway point of stage 2 at Bristol, Allgaier lead.
I think one of the toughest parts about racing at Bristol is whenever you get trapped on the bottom on a restart.
The field is so tight speed-wise, the difference from 1st to 15th normally isn't a ton.
Obviously passing, never knowing where the groupe's going to end up. If it's around the bottom, you got to move guys out of the way. Around the top, it's kind of the slide job deal.
Drivers talking about the frustration of racing here in Bristol. You said it earlier, Clint, and here you are in the broadcast booth. You were coaching up the lap cars during the break. You're frustrated it up here even.
Well, they were definitely running side by side and had everybody jumbled up pretty bad, trying to navigate between the two of them. But frustration is the key of this place. Discipline is the key to this place. You know, you have to be so disciplined. How many times I've been around this place, I can't count, where you're just like, man, I got to chill. Take a deep breath, calm down, and then get back after it. Almost take a break for a lap. You know, just get yourself gathered up and then get back after it. It's just one of those places that you just never can calm down. It's you know, especially in your car. You know, you got Christopher Bell out here looking at him. His car's loose getting in, skating on top of that racetrack. Man, that's a challenging situation to be in at a track like this.
I've just wiped a few out here before. You ever done that?
I've wiped a handful of them out, yes.
Nice effort, as I said earlier, for Cole Custer to jump back in the top 5. And Cindric is having a good afternoon in 6th.
Guys, we're watching these cars running this outside line. It's so hard to stand here in this booth and try to explain what that's like. The momentum, the speed that you carry around this place. I feel like you're in a slot car. You know, when you're a kid, you go around there in a slot car wide open, it hugged that corner. That's what you feel like here. No brake, hardly any brake at all. Right back to the gas. Very minimal off throttle time. You are flat hauling the mail around this place when you run around that outside.
And this is a great view, but when you get to the middle of the corner, you can't see the exit of the corner, and it's quite a commitment whether you're running the bottom or the top lane, because right about here you have no clue if somebody's spun out or something's happening.
For position, here's Bell inside of Nemechek up to 3rd. 20 starting to make some noise.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, hey, a lot of times when you start that free on a racetrack like this, you know in the back of your mind, if you're calm and you don't just keep trying to, you know, overdrive the car, it'll come to you eventually and be good on a long run, start to prevail. I'd like to go back to that inside view of the in-car camera again, because just like Kevin talked about, it's really not the inside. If you look at this A-post right here, you have to look up here in the corner, in the top left corner of your windshield. Both Kevin and I caught this off of him a couple of years ago when I moved back over to Stuart Haas. He cuts the top part of that off, and you're literally looking up out of your windshield, because if you can see, if somebody wrecked on the exit of that corner, that's your only visual that you will have to that, is looking up in that corner of your windshield.
But you don't do that everywhere. You just do it here because of the load in the corner to help your visual off.
In the banking. But the other thing is you're not looking. If you're racing right here and on this car, I'm not watching this car in front of me. I'm feeling him. I understand that he's there. I'm watching that 98 car up there. That's the car that you're worried about, because if something happens up there as he's catching that lap car or something, that's the one you're going to run into.
Plus, I can't see real good at him, so I have to use every advantage that I can.
That's that plus 40 class you're running.
I was going to say, that's aging. That has nothing to do with racetrack.
I got one more month. I'm going to hold on to that comment.
Cole Custer trying to get back in the top 4, racing Nemechek there. Allgaier out front with 25 to go, second stage. Bristol, 16 to go, second stage for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Tomorrow afternoon, it's the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. Vehicles racing here, 500 laps. Our coverage begins 12:30 Eastern Time with race day on FS1. And with 15 remaining in this stage, I want everyone to take a look at those drivers highlighted in red. The best finisher of that group gets a bonus $100,000 in the dash for cash.
Oh, man. You see John Hunter get held up in traffic right there just for a brief second, and was able to make it back up on the outside. But you just never know when they're going to go and when they're not going to go.
Oh, absolutely. You know, we saw Kim Burton right there in that commercial. I was kind of got a chuckle out of that. There is nobody, I can promise you, that is running any more laps in that infield than that lady. She's watched that baby of hers run a lot of laps around these racetracks. This is a big opportunity for Harrison, obviously, and that whole family. pretty neat story.
You're saying we need a full-time camera down there.
Yeah. Oh, I can promise.
Hey, who's a more intense competitor, Kim or Jeff?
Oh, it's definitely Kim. Definitely Kim.
100%.
Oh, I love this.
I could tell you, we talked about Christopher Bell and those lap times, how he started off free and where it's fallen off on these backside of the runs. It might not be enough this time, but he is definitely coming on strong on the backside.
You better stand clear down there, Matt.
Absolutely. You can see her running every lap with Harrison. And Kevin, think back to me at Harrison on happy hours on Sirius XM. He sold the story about how when he drove in ARCA, he told Billy Venturini, you are going to have to stiffen up the platform of the pit box because she jumps up and down so much. He was worried he was going to collapse.
There is not anybody more into what Harrison is doing than his mom, and she is driving every lap with him right now. Probably more stressed out than he is, for sure.
Probably.
Tyler Reddick, second, a half a second behind Justin Allgaier. But here's Christopher Bell, who's gained over a second in the last 10 laps on our race leader. He's fast right now.
Well, it's like Clint said, that loose race car is really turning the center well, and he's able, the car has come to him, and he caught these guys really, really quick. As they're in a little bit of lap traffic, Bell was able to turn the center of the corner and had some clean track and caught right up to him.
And you can see it right there as they're getting into this traffic.
Oh, man. That's Jeremy Clements trying to make the save. Caution.
That was close.
Great job by Christopher Bell.
And that's a product of those guys trying to stay on that lead lap. Not trying to go a lap down. There's, 6 laps to go right here. He's trying as hard as he could to keep those lappers behind him, or those leaders behind him.
He actually took the wave around at the end of stage 1 so he could stay on the lead lap.
It almost worked.
Here's what happened. Reddick and Bell coming from behind, and it steps out on the 51 of Clements.
That turn 1 entry is always a little bit loose as you run the race, and always a little bit trickier than the entrance of turn 3. And he just turned it down in no man's land there, behind 3 cars, and a little less air on the spoiler, and it's a hard, loose corner.
I was going to say, I think you said it right there. 3 cars, 3 wide. You know, we talk about this place not needing aero, but I think that was a prime example of those cars taking air off of him.
Wow.
That's that good feeling you have when you miss a red like that.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because most of the time that car continues backing into the fence, and that time it just stayed right where it was, and he was able to slow down just enough to get by. So definitely a close call.
What do you think's going to happen here? Are we going to be able to get back green? We closed the pits with 2 to go in the stage. This is that in-between circumstance, and I think exaggerated even more by the fact that we're at a short track and the laps click off so quickly, even under caution.
Well, if they open the pits right here, everybody's going to pit because of the fact they don't want to be behind. You might see some guys at the back of the field or the back of the lead lap not pit to try to steal some stage points. But if they open pit road right here, going to finish under yellow.
Yeah, and you could, if you'd pitted here, you can go the distance. You wouldn't have to pit. I mean, this has a green flag field, only 3 cautions, 2 for incident, 1 at the end of that first stage. So when you pit here, if we go green, everybody could make it the rest of the way. A couple of things to clean up as we are under caution. Clements, when he had the spin, was 14th. Zane Smith had gone a lap down again. He's 13th, and he'll get the free pass. And our top 5 ending stage 2, Allgaier, Reddick, Bell, Custer, and Nemechek. Pit stops when we return to Bristol. As we complete stage 2, we go on this date, April 6th, 1896, first modern Olympic Games in Greece. 1924, first around-the-world flight. Fast forward to 1986, Rusty Wallace, first career win at Bristol, and check out the hair. I know I shouldn't comment on hair, but that's some frizz right there.
He'd fit right in today's world.
We told you that the caution was going to end the stage. It did, and Justin Allgaier so far has completed the sweep. Great afternoon for driver 7.
I saw 1923. I thought they were going to say that was the year you were born.
You know, I was going to...
Me?
Where I was going with that is, it's funny, you two were the ones that commented on his hair.
Pit road is open, Regan.
Well, John Hunter Nemechek raving about this race car before the race. He said it's the best car that he has had all year. Right now, he's tight center and losing the front turn off of the corners. He's pitting from the fifth position on the right-hand side of your screen. On the left-hand side of the screen, the 98 car, he's good in 3 and 4, washes up the track in 1 and 2. Some of that's because of the sun, though. They're going to take 4 tires as well on his race car and send Chase Briscoe.
And Regan, over on the front side, you can already see work going on the 7 of Justin Allgaier. Led 83 laps today. Those are the first laps all year. His car much better down in turns 3 and 4. A little tight through the center. You can see the 2 team going to work as well. They felt like that the track had started to take rubber up on the upper side, and that's why they were experiencing a big tight condition. Service complete on the 20 of Christopher Bell. Big crank on the wedge wrench, chassis adjustment, trying to tighten him up just a snug.
Kevin, where did you say the easiest place to pass is?
Pit road,
and
every time.
Look
Those
at
guys
Bell.
have done a great job on that 20.
+1 for Bell. He's second, and his pit crew's doing an unbelievable job in that #1 stall. Allgaier the first off here.
Let's see if we can get Christopher on the radio. Christopher, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got me?
I got you.
Man, oh man, 51 looked a little big in the windshield there. How did you miss that?
I just closed my eyes and hit the brake pedal as hard as I could, and then he slid down the hill. Got pretty lucky there.
I tell you what, we liked it in the booth how high your voice got on the radio. But I tell you the other thing getting big in the windshield is those leaders. It looked like you really took off loose, and as that run prevailed and went on, you really caught them and was fast on that long run. Did you make any adjustments, and what's your plan to get around that leader there?
Yeah, I don't know what they did. I told them I was loose to take off, but it's kind of hard to work on that when you're so good on the long run there. So just try and get a good restart here and maintain my track position and see if we can't beat them on the long run again.
Well, the good news is this final stage is definitely longer than any stage you've had so far. So good luck. We're watching.
Thanks.
Good to be solid on the long run with 127 to go. Bell going to restart on the front row with Allgaier for that final stage. It's next on FS1. Time for the final stage at Bristol Motor Speedway. First short track event of the year for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. $100,000 on the line, and one of the drivers going for the big payout, Tyler Reddick. He's had a good first couple of stages, has led 63 laps today, but they had problems on that last pit stop. So driver 2 is going to restart 7th here. Front row, Allgaier, who's won the first 2 stages, and Christopher Bell. What's the latest on Reddick, Matt?
And you documented it perfectly. They had issues on the left rear, had to give an extra pump on the jack.
All right, thanks for the report. We'll keep an eye on Reddick. Once we go green, he starts on row 4 with Harrison Burton.
It'll be interesting to see if Christopher Bell can kind of hold court with these leaders at the beginning of the run with that really loose car, because the less positions he loses, the faster he will catch those leaders if we get a long run.
Cindric taking advantage. Haven't said a lot about the 22 today, but he's running second, and Custer peeking down low on Bell.
Good, Adam, you said it. It's time and time again. I don't know how many times I've been here and been down and out. You get up there, you get some track position after a good pit stop, and all of a sudden your whole world has changed. Your car is handling better, it's turning better, you're able to get to the gas, you off the brake better, you're just, everything is so much better with that clean air.
Reddick moving forward since the restart.
That's that aggravation setting in. That's always worth an extra tenth and a half, isn't it, Kevin?
Well, you know, we talked about a team sport and winning and losing together, but after we talked about that first stage, we have not seen Tyler Reddick lead the race again once he was not in control. So, you know, sometimes that stuff piles onto you, but I can guarantee you he's pretty aggravated in the car.
Yeah, they've had 2 miscues. The spotter miscommunication at the end of the stage, and then what Matt told us about on pit road. So he's got some ground to make up. And Clint, you said it earlier, racing everywhere. Look right at your screen. Burton is there with his teammate Brandon Jones. Nemechek a part of that race as well.
Yeah, and that's 2 young kids, very aggressive. We've watched both of them over their careers, and they're both known to be very aggressive in the car. And this is an aggressive racetrack, so that's a lot of fun to watch.
rookies side by side. Haley and Gregson.
Still there. Still even.
You see that 11 car needing that real estate. You can see the angle that he was as he was coming up off the corner. He was tight, wide open already, and needed the real estate. Didn't have it with that car on the outside of him, and they hit.
Just a little friendly contact. No harm, no foul.
Bell starting the reel. Drop to third. Now inside of Cindric for second.
Well, track position is helping Christopher Bell manage his car, in my opinion. They probably made it a little bit better for him on the get-go, but like you said a minute ago, getting that track position and moving forward has allowed him to manage where he runs on the racetrack more easily than in traffic.
And we kind of talked about this earlier, but everyone can go the distance from here, but should we get a caution, depending on when it comes out, teams likely would pit, and they have a set of tires remaining, and here comes Reddick. Inside of Custer, trying to go 2 for 1 as he races the 22 of Austin Cindric.
Quarter, get down here, 1-2, lock to the apron. Quarter, bumper, clear, get up and slide, half back, get up and slide, clear.
I guess we've reached that stage of the race where you put the elbows up, huh?
Absolutely. You know, and at Bristol, you have to be elbows up all the time.
Just feeling him out a little bit, making sure he's there, right?
And sometimes as a driver, when you feel like your car's faster and you're on the bottom and the guy on top is not cutting you any slack and you know you're way faster than him, you just kind of ease up there in the middle of the straightaway like, hey, man, I can make this a lot harder.
Forcing your opinion a little bit with the steering wheel.
On board with Cindric here. We go with our Ford Performance track facts. 9 Xfinity wins at Bristol for Ford. Mark Martin got the first in 1989. The last for Joey Logano driving this 22 in 2015, when I think I'm right in saying he led all 300 laps.
Well, Mark Martin probably should have had one more here.
You're going to bring that up?
I am, because we saw Tyler Reddick let off, and you know, he wound up losing a race here one time because he pulled in a lap too soon.
No letting off here.
I tell you what, who sees that Justin Allgaier sees the 20 car getting big in the rearview mirror. It's going to be interesting to see when they get to these lappers, which they're going to be in at about 3 or 4 laps. You know, how that 20 car is handling on these long runs is, I think, is going to prevail through, you know, the course of this run as they get into that lap.
We haven't gone very far this time.
Absolutely not. He's right already there on them. It's still edgy, still loose.
But he's got the whole racetrack now. With the track position that his pit crew has given him, he's got the whole racetrack to take care of that race car and not have to race around other cars.
Coming up on 100 laps to go. The leaders are in lap traffic. Allgaier in front of Bell at Bristol. 93 laps to go at Bristol. A lot going on. Riding shotgun with Justin Haley when Brandon Brown slows because of a tire issue. Brown was able to get down the pit lane and make his pit stop. And look at this run for Christopher Bell on Allgaier.
Yeah, you see Allgaier check up and have to go through the middle of the corner, and oh man, that was close. That's what you call threading a needle.
And that's textbook racing. You know, taking advantage of the leader having to maneuver around that lapper.
Oh, two Fords connecting.
Hey, that's
Bristol and Cindric.
That's Bristol racing at its finest. I can tell you this. That 20 and the 7, Justin's doing a great job holding that car up, but as he's doing that, it's enabled this Tyler Reddick to catch him in the 2 car for sure.
Yeah, that incident that we just showed allowed Tyler Reddick to pull right up on their back bumper, and if you look behind Reddick, you got the 00 that's not far behind. So Christopher Bell has the faster car right now, but Justin is doing a really good job of protecting that inside and keeping his momentum on the outside as we see him dive to the bottom.
Well, but you said you have to have a versatile car if you're going to win today. You see the 7 of Allgaier moving around. You see it out of Tyler Reddick in the 2, and now Bell looking low.
Yeah, but the thing right now is his momentum. He needs to stay up in the top lane because Christopher's running up there, and his best chance is to try to make Christopher Bell try to pass him on the bottom, because he's got to finish that pass in order to get by him, and that'll be hard to do from the bottom lane.
The other thing you see Bell doing is moving his line around. That's got Justin guessing. He's moving around as a leader now. He moved down, tried that bottom. He's got him looking in the mirror, and for the guy trying to pass somebody, that's exactly what you want to see out of the leader.
Been a good day for Austin Cindric, but 8th with 86 to go after kissing the wall.
So the same way to that 98, just trying to turn it down the hill a little more by half a car length lower on his diamond.
Got it pretty good.
So one back in inside 18, inside 19.
You really see how that wall suck you into, Adam. Once you get into it, you can't get out of it. I mean, he was completely out of the gas. You can hear that thing just, you know, up against the wall, turning left as hard as you can, and it won't let go of you.
Yeah, and you get up in all the loose rubber up there, and all the traction compound that's blown up there, and it just gets worse.
Is Harrison Burton overachieving in the 18 today? I mean, he's running 7th. He made the final round of qualifying. He's kept it clean for the most part. What's your evaluation there?
I don't think you can overachieve in that 18 car, in my opinion. I think the expectations are high when you get in, and you're expected to perform well.
Expectations high across the board at Joe Gibbs Racing. That's his teammate, Christopher Bell, trying to get the lead from Allgaier. Can't make it work. Here comes Reddick. Here comes Custer.
These guys are putting on a show for the lead. All 4 cars are doing a great job. These 4 cars have been the class of the field all weekend long. Look at practices, look at qualifying. These are the cars that we all knew we were going to be watching. I don't know about that. Well, he moved up.
Yeah, I thought the lap car was going to stay on the bottom, and the thing I was going to say a second ago was, you see Christopher Bell. He thought about pulling that slide job off, and I'd say as we get later and later, when he gets more opportunities, he's going to force the issue in trying to pull that slide job off.
If he gets to his outside, it's gonna be over. We both said that, and once he gets around him, I think it'll be lights out.
Cannot let him on the outside of you.
What's his level of aggression right now versus what it's going to be in the next 30 laps or so?
Have you ever seen that kid race a midget?
I saw him flip one a couple weeks ago.
He's got to be careful, though, because if he makes a mistake and loses a position to the 2 car, it's going to be harder for him to get back to where he needs to be.
I hate this. We got to work a break in with 79 to go. It's been outstanding so far. Clint called it. Word of the day, frustration. Great racing for the lead. Allgaier and Bell. This was back and forth for a couple of laps.
You know, but I think there's a reason why he got that run, and you're fixing to see it right here.
That's the frustration part. Bell goes to the lead. His fiance Morgan said, "Oh yeah, I like to see that 20 car out front."
There's a reason it was so easy to get around him. I don't think it's that right front tire either. It looks to me like they've had an inch of trouble that led to getting in the wall, and there's the frustration I'm talking about. Horribly disappointing for him, leading the race, doing everything right. Unfortunately, catastrophic engine failures. Nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, and that's the second one for Justin Allgaier as we've gone through the first part of this season. So that's not typical out of the Hendrick Motorsports engine department for sure.
He won 5 races last year, but unable to make it to the championship 4. Today won both stages, led 136 laps, but unfortunately his day ends in the garage. So get ready to roll with the inaugural PBA playoffs on FS1's Knockdown Mondays. Bowling's top 24 superstars compete head-to-head in a brand-new bracket-style battle for $100 grand. The PBA playoffs begin Monday at 7 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. 100,000 on the line there, 100,000 on the line here when you look at our top 2, Bell and Reddick, and it's getting aggressive behind them. Burton and Cindric going toe-to-toe.
It's go time, Alan. 63 laps to go. It's go time. I tell you what, going back to bowling, Kevin, good thing we can make $100,000 racing race cars Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, we were talking about our high bowling scores, and right now we're talking about breaking 100, so we're not going to make a living out of it, that's for sure.
I like that Reddick is hanging around. I mean, Bell's created a little separation, but this thing is far from over with 61 to go.
What do you think can happen here? an untimely caution. Caution comes out here and changes your whole race. A decision, do we stay out, do we pit? If we pit, how many stay out? Where are we going to be track position-wise? A caution changes everything at this racetrack.
Well, we're going to go Reddick's pushing the limits as he's behind him. He's pushing that groove wider and wider on entry, middle, and exit. So you can tell he's starting to get a little bit anxious.
He knows what's on the line. A win, 100 grand. So much, so good as we head down the stretch in East Tennessee.
Only the one, just the one.
Cole Custer takes it in Texas. Chase Briscoe wins in Charlotte. He has done it. Nemechek wins.
Justin Allgaier back to victory lane.
Christopher Bell.
Tyler Reddick pulls it off.
This year, on the track,
Back it down.
new names will become worthy of the spotlight.
The 22-year-old is the Xfinity Series champion.
The NASCAR Xfinity Series. Names are made here.
I'm going to open up 2 beers. Okay. You tell me which sounds more refreshing.
Gotcha.
This one? Or this one?
Bush.
Definitely the one that went Bush. What beer is that?
Are you being serious?
Yes.
It's Bush.
Right.
NASCAR fans, are you ready to take your Wi-Fi to the next level? Then you need Xfinity XFi, a more powerful way to stay connected. It gives you super fast speeds for all your devices, Wi-Fi coverage that leaves no room behind, and lets you control your network with the XFi app. It's the ultimate Wi-Fi experience. Xfinity, official partner of NASCAR.
So you're open all day, every day?
That's what 24/7 means, sugar.
Kind of like how you get 24/7 access to licensed agents with Geico. Yeah, you just go online, give them a call anytime.
You don't say.
Yep. Now, what will it take to get 24/7 access to that lemon meringue pie?
Pie's coming. That's what it takes, baby.
Geico. Great service from licensed agents 24/7.
There's more than one way to break down a fight. With your hands, aggression. He does it with his mouth. Business is business. Put up your gloves, put on your suit, let's go right now. I'm coming for him. That's what it is.
We've got a great fight. Prime time opportunity to beat Peter Thriller.
Premier Boxing Champions. Quillen versus Truax. Next Saturday at 10 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
You have to be perfect. It's 140 degrees inside the race car, and you can't afford to make a mistake.
A lot of great moments at Bristol. This, no doubt, one of my favorites.
Well, of course it is.
Oh, man, it looked like he was just in his way a little bit there, Kevin.
Yeah. They used to hurt. That's when they had
was
real
a good
walls.
guy, but he's about the most impatient thing. I'll be waiting when he comes in here.
And I didn't do it on purpose. That's just racing at Bristol, hard short track racing.
Biffle's an idiot. That's pretty much enough.
Whoa! Who is that guy?
Somebody who was much more agile than the guy that's standing next to you.
Was it really loud that day? How come you guys were talking so close?
It was just a
heated moment.
I can't read lips. What was being said there? Do you recall?
I was asking him where he wanted to go for dinner.
Why is it so fun watching people get mad?
I got to slide in here. The WWE's coming to Fox. You know, I mean,
I think I missed my timetable on that one.
Hey, I'm telling you what, you want to talk about WWE, getting your arms up, little wrestling match. This 00 is putting the pressure on this 2. These guys are way up the racetrack, running right up against the wall. The 2 has been in the wall a couple times as we saw it under break, and I think he's paying a price because of that right now.
Custer's all over him, but as they battle, Bell is pulling away. Meanwhile, the guy we thought might win it in the garage. What's the latest on Justin Allgaier, man?
Adam, first you heard Allgaier say he thought the engine was going bad. Then he had no brakes. They brought the car behind the wall. He went off into the team hauler to try to cool off. A lot of frustration after the run he had today. I talked to Ryan Pepperton, the competition director at Junior Motorsports. They feel like it's something either in the hub or the rotor. That's the area, and it really jives with what Justin was saying, where he had no brakes. The thing that is for sure, his day is done. What a great run he had going.
Well, I'm glad we got that clarified, you know, because we heard the engine comment on the radio. We thought it was an engine problem, but then we saw the right front. The 18, Harrison Burton's in the wall, guys, right here.
Like he's been there a couple of times, and so has Cole Custer.
Down. Caution, caution, caution.
18's got a tire down.
Caution is out, 40 to go. That was Burton. Here's Custer.
Yeah, I was just saying, we just kept watching, getting higher and higher and higher. It's only a matter of time. It takes one little slip when you're that close, and the rest is history.
Burton was running like 8th or 9th. He's now scored 11th. Final car on the lead lap. Officially, he was 7th. Custer was 3rd, and Custer has maintained his track position. Everybody has a set of tires. Not a ton of cars on the lead lap. Track position has been king. What direction do you go here?
Well,
whatever the crew chief tells you.
I'm looking backwards because we have a guest that's looking in on us today, and I didn't even see a head shake or anything as to whether we're going to pit or not. Chad Knaus is watching behind us, so we're pitting.
We're pitting, Chad?
Chief says we're pitting.
Pitting
We heard Regan Smith talk about the left front tires earlier and how they were wearing out. He said that wear was a lot better the second time, so, man.
First car 1 lap down is Zane Smith, and he scored in the 12th. There's Chad, and Chad's up here observing because he's going to be with us in the booth next weekend.
And we immediately went to cheating on trying to call the race and just trying to blame it on the crew chief, just like we do in the car.
Yeah, absolutely. You couldn't have showed up at a worse time for you. It's not a decision out of our hands. It's under your job description. What are we going to do?
And you can invoice for this week and next week, too. Okay, Chad? That's fine.
Imagine that. He's right. They're all pitting.
Yeah, they're going to pit. Let's see if they get 4 or 2 here, Regan.
Well, I have to assume that it's going to be 4 tires. That's what it sounds like on my end of pit road right now. The 98 car of Chase Briscoe spots his pit stall, hits his marks perfectly as he slides to a stop. His race car right now has lost a little bit of rear security, still just a little bit too tight. On the 19 car needs a little turn in the center and a little drive-on exit for him. Matt?
And Regan, we saw a lot of comers and goers on the last run of pit stops, and with so few laps left, 38 to go. This could be the game changer. Now, talking about the 0-0 of Cole Custer, his car was tight at the beginning of the run, but it got better as the run went on. Christopher Bell, the chassis adjustment, they made 2 stops ago, really helped the race car, especially as you heard him say when we talked to him, the car was just so good late in the run. And then there's the 2, a little bit tight, if anything, for Tyler Reddick.
Reddick goes off 2nd behind Christopher Bell. Cole Custer the 3rd off pit road. So they hold their position, but they won't be the top 3 for the restart because Brandon Jones stayed out with 37 to go.
Mike Trout, the league's best player.
He can do everything. He can steal bags. He drives in runs. He scores runs. He's finished no less than 5th in any year he's ever been in the MVP. I mean, that's unbelievable.
We got to get Mike Trout to the playoffs.
Yes. The Milwaukee Brewers finally beat the Cubs. They had fun last year. It's going to be a great division to watch.
I think the Cubs get right back where they want to. Bryant's going to be healthier. Mr. Consistent Rizzo.
Watch out for the Cubs.
You have to be perfect. Every week matters, every one of them. Nothing ever goes to plan.
I can't see. I put a helmet on and I become a different person. It's going to get crazy.
Being able to go that fast and make split-second decisions.
It's 140 degrees inside the race car, and you can't afford to make a mistake.
If you're not tired, you didn't drive hard enough.
Omar, look. Omar, check this out.
Hi, yeah, I was calling to see if you do laser hair removal for men. Notice that my hips are off the ground? And then I'm gonna pike my hips back into downward dog. Hey, the rain stopped.
A bad day on the road still beats a good one off it.
Tell me about that dental procedure again. I can still taste it in my mouth.
Progressive helps keep you out there.
The right gear matters. Introducing the all-new 2019 Ford Ranger. It's the right gear with a terrain management system for this, a bash plate for that, an electronic locking rear differential for, yeah, this. Heading to the supermarket? Get any truck. Heading out here? Get the Ford Ranger. The only adventure gear built Ford tough.
Being a kid is all about freedom. The freedom to play. Freedom of new experiences. And the freedom for all kids under 12 to get into any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series race for free. It's good to be a kid.
Bring any kid under 12 to any NASCAR Xfinity Series or NASCAR Gander Outdoors Truck Series race, and they get in free. Visit NASCAR.com/KidsTix to learn more.
Well, it was only about a tenth that entire run, so I think once they get these things cooled down, they'll be right back to where they were. So I'm pretty good about this. All right, copy.
That was the crew chief. The driver says what about staying out with 33 to go on old tires?
That's the crew chief trying to pump you back up. Hey, but that was their opportunity, right? I mean, they were down and out. You got a chance to take the lead here with 34 laps to go. Why not? Go for it. And they did.
It's been an eventful 300 laps today. Add a couple hundred tomorrow. Second short track race of 2019 for NASCAR's Top Shelf. Race day gets it going on FS1 at 12:30. We'll stay on FS1 for the race. Going green right around 2 o'clock from the last great Coliseum. You know when you're at a track that has like 4 nicknames, it's a special place.
Well, it's definitely one of those places that you want to come watch a race if you haven't ever been here to watch one, because it's not like anything else that we do.
And I tell you, for me, watching this Xfinity race gets me pumped up for tomorrow, almost dangerously pumped up. I'm so excited to get in the car and have my opportunity. These guys are putting on a show, and I can't wait to get out there and have our chance.
For the top 7, going for the dash for cash, an extra $100,000. Brandon Jones on old tires takes the outside lane, 32 to go at Bristol.
Did not clear him.
Clear him, Clint.
We do out the back.
Still has it. Brandon might take the lead right here.
Bell got loose. Contact with Custer. And Jones to the lead.
Clear by 3. Roger, line.
Well, that was one thing that would happen in practice, and you heard Brandon Jones's crew chief tell him that. You'd cool the tires off a little bit, and they would fire right back off, even if that left front tire was wore out. And we talked about it during the break. If Christopher Bell did not clear Brandon Jones, he was not in a very good spot because of being on the inside.
But we've also seen it all race long. This 20 car does not take off as good as some. The short runs were not his MO all race long. Now all of a sudden these guys are bearing down on him. $100,000 on the line, dash for cash.
Yeah, Reddick wants to get by him, get that $100,000. Brandon Jones trying to hang on for his first career victory.
Doing a pretty good job at it too.
Well, and he's been close here before. We saw Ryan Priest beat him last year here in a very similar situation.
This 20 car's, he is loose.
And like you said, Clint, those two, this is the race within the race. That's the dash for cash race for $100,000. So I can promise you, if you're not winning, you're thinking about that extra $100,000 right now, even if it is for second.
This reminds me a little bit of last year. You know, Brandon Jones, as we talked about, led over 100 laps in this race, but a late pit call gave him 2 tires instead of 4, and he ended up finishing into 6th position. But right now he's hanging on with 25 remaining when he crosses the start-finish line.
And that decision's really going to pay off regardless. If he doesn't win the race, it's way better than they were. That's why these 2 dummy drivers are up here talking about it instead of being in there when we let a crew chief make the decision for us, because we will make the wrong one. He kept him out there. There's no way I'd have been agreeing with him on that decision. And look here, it's really paying off in a big way.
Well, they have a lot more information up on that pit box than we do in the car, and sometimes we forget about that in the heat of the battle.
We just always want 4 fresh feel goods, be able to grip and rip. Our driver's always going to go with the tires.
Now that is a camera view. Look all the way up underneath that 98 car.
And somehow that camera has stayed on all day long for Austin.
Adam. The race is not over yet. Don't jinx it.
Yeah, we only have 22 to go. By the way, giving credit where credit is due, Jeff Mindering is the new crew chief for Brandon Jones this year. His brother Kevin has been on a roll. Great weekend at Texas for Jimmy Johnson. Started on the pole, got a top 5, and there should be a celebratory dinner this week in the Mindering family if he's able to hang on and win here, talking about Brandon Jones.
Well, it's going to get tight before it's all said and done, and I guarantee you Christopher Bell is most likely going to have a shot at a slide job or two based upon the way he's caught back up to Brandon Jones.
It's going to come down to traffic. With 20 to go here, it's definitely going to come down to traffic. But, hey, you got 4 cars racing for the lead you can throw a blanket over. That's what you got to love about a track like Bristol. It can only be duplicated on these short tracks like this.
Jones to the inside, to the outside, rather, as Bell peeks down low.
Slide job. Got him. Clear.
Crossover for Jones.
Might clear him back. Clear.
Clear. Yeah, you got
probably should have moved back up.
Got to go back up on that one.
Look at Morgan.
Tell you what, this Cole Custer's putting a lot of pressure on Tyler Reddick, too.
Bell takes over the race lead. 17 laps to go.
Might be able to take advantage of that car with no tires.
Custer and Reddick hanging around.
Just such a neat view from here. I mean, all of the drivers brag about this place. The view is incredible. I can watch both ends of the racetrack. I can watch the leaders up front. I'm watching these lappers battle it out for whatever race they're racing. It's just it's such a cool place to sit back and enjoy an afternoon watching racing. Oh, Brandon Jones in the wall pretty hard there.
So he falls back to 5th as Chase Briscoe comes through.
Oh, he's got a flat right front.
And now the race is for 2nd, and this is not going to end well for Brandon Jones.
Yeah, and it just looks like that tire was down before he got into the corner.
Here he is making his stop with 13 remaining.
That's the gamble, though, right? I mean, the guy, you got to applaud him for taking the chance, putting him out, putting this driver out front, giving him an opportunity to win the race. The tire went down and ended up costing them, but at the end of the day, they had some time in the sun, led some laps. I think the juice is worth the squeeze there.
Another good day for Justin Haley, who's 7th. Saw him in the 11. Half a second advantage for Christopher Bell over Tyler Reddick.
42's way off the pace right there.
That's Chad Fincham, local boy out of Knoxville. Contact for Custer and Reddick.
This has been an incredible race for about the last 20 laps. Cole Custer's putting a lot of pressure on Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick's doing a great job of holding his position and making that car wide in front of him.
See Reddick slide into the corner right there all the way up against the fence. And he's done more than put pressure on him. He's put that front bumper on the back of that 2 car.
Kevin, I was going to ask you earlier if you thought that they would reapply some of this traction compound at the bottom of the racetrack for tomorrow. You know, as we go on with 10 laps to go here, what do you think? You think they'll do that? Do you think that we need to do that?
Typically in the past they have, and I think that keeps the bottom groove you know, as competitive as you can keep it if they put it down before the race starts. Oh, Reddick in the wall.
Get it back gathered here, crossing over, inside bumper, on you tight, clear back line.
You know, he's so free where he hits the wall. How he hits the wall with the right rear is the only thing that I think saving him. Everybody else that hits it when they slide up, they get into it, their right front cuts the tire down and has trouble. He just kind of keeps kissing it with the right rear and keeps him in the game.
Six laps to go for Christopher Bell. Not great yesterday in practice, didn't qualify as he would have hoped. But they made that car better and better. And here we are, 4th quarter of the event. He turns it up, going for his 2nd win of the season.
Well, I think the racetrack has come to them as well. And you know, I think that loose race car was probably somewhat intentional just because of the fact that it was going to come to him as the race went.
Get forward. He should know by now.
That from Cole Custer. who sounds like he's going to get aggressive with Tyler Reddick here.
Frustration.
Reddick started on the pole. Led 25 laps early.
He is holding on, holding them up, and holding on. Let's let these two teammates really team up behind him. If he slips one time, both of them are going to make it around him.
Here's Briscoe. That lapper, the 66 of Timmy Hill.
You know, Kevin, I think you nailed it, though, on Christopher Bell, the leader there. The track came to him. They were free. You know, short runs were not his strong suit. These long runs, he used the car to his advantage. Experience, I believe, paid off all across the board with that team.
Here comes Bell. 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Won 7 times a season ago. Made it to the championship 4, couldn't finish the deal. Strong early in 2019. Going to get his 2nd win today. First victory at Bristol for Christopher Bell, and he wins the $100,000.
Big day.
Yeah, show me the money, baby. Nice work.
Big day. First win at Bristol.
Good work, guys.
You remember yours?
Thanks, Tony.
It's been a
nice
while.
job, man.
Well, he'll certainly remember this one. I can promise you that.
Well, and you saw those guys celebrating on pit road. They had as much to do with this as that race car and that driver driving it, because they gained him a ton of track position in those first 2 pit stops. And the closer he got to the front of the pack, the better that car handled. The racetrack came to him. They made some adjustments on the car and wound up making it happen.
It's his 10th career win. He's won 4 of the last 6 on short tracks. That's his fiancee Morgan, who's been with him every step of the way.
Very cool. It's always cool to see the emotion for everybody involved. Fiance, doesn't matter. Everybody, we saw it with moms on the pit box. Fiancés there, drivers. You heard him and that when he missed that. Hey, look how many things that he had to overcome today. Overcame almost hitting the 51, wiping their whole day out. Held onto that car on the short runs. Made it happen on the long runs. Come out the victory.
And let's issue this message to the competition. He won both races at Richmond last year. That's where we go on Friday night.
Piling up those playoff points.
Oh, yeah.
I like what I saw, though. There was a lot of good racing today, a lot of fast cars, a lot of cars capable of being able to do burnouts right there. It was just their day. Everything worked out in their favor.
7 races this year. Joe Gibbs Racing has taken the checkered flag on 5 occasions. 3 for Kyle Busch and 2 now for Christopher Bell. And he becomes the first series regular with multiple victories. Full post-race coverage on the way. It's Christopher Bell who leads 57 laps, including the last one at Thunder Valley. It's all over for the NASCAR Xfinity Series in Bristol, Tennessee. And the man that got the win and got the big payout is Christopher Bell. He's making his way to victory lane. We'll hear from him shortly. In the meantime, we send it to Regan Smith.
Well, the man who did not get the win in the big payout came out just a little bit short here today, Tyler Reddick. You had a heck of a battle there, but got in the wall just a little bit towards the end. Was that enough to keep you from getting the victory?
Well, I don't know if it's necessarily getting in the wall. These composite bodies are just durable as can be, but just need a little bit more there to get past Christopher. The unfortunate part is, you know, when I'm behind him, it is hard to make the pass, but not only can his spotters see what we're doing as well. But it was great to have Dolly Parton on our car and her businesses. It's funny, we were 2 in stage 1, 2 in stage 2, and we finished race stage 3. But really impressed with all speed in our Rich Schultz Racing Chevrolet. It was a good day, but it's a shame we thought the stage 1 ended 1 lap too soon. We should have gotten that stage point.
And Christopher Bell scores the big check. That's going to be tough getting it through the teller window. You said you loved this place. You'd never won here. And then to do it on a big stage like this with $100,000 on the line, could you have scripted any better?
I don't know, man. That's pretty cool to get my first win here with the Dash for Cash bonus. Thank you to Xfinity for doing that, and more importantly, thank you to Reem, Rude, everyone at Toyota, TRD, everyone at Joe Gibbs Racing. These Supras are super, super fast, and Joe Gibbs Racing has a really, really good package here at Bristol, but for whatever reason, we struggled to find that. I didn't feel good basically all practice and didn't qualify good, and as soon as I dropped the green flag for the race, I was really, really loose. But the longer the runs went, the better I got, and just very thankful to be here at Joe Gibbs Racing, driving for such a wonderful team.
Great move with 17 to go to take the lead, but also your guys on pit road, they really delivered.
Yeah, they've been taking care of us. We've had fast race cars every single week, but my guys on pit road have been outstanding, and it seems like week in, week out, every stop they're able to pick us up a couple spots, and that's huge. That's really huge.
All right, well, get your check. They're going to bring it on in. Let's go to my friend Regan Smith.
Our third place finisher today, Cole Custer. We heard you fired up on the radio at the end of that race. That's just good old-fashioned Bristol battling, right?
Yeah, I wasn't happy. It's just, it's so frustrating. I mean, I think the best car there at the end is just we didn't have the fire-off speed or the restarts to get the track position, and it's just so hard to pass. You have to have the perfect scenario to pass somebody with the lappers that are going on the inside and everything. So we know how to get better, but I'm just frustrated. I wish we had a shot to really go for the win there.
Adam, it's Bristol. You can't always be happy after this one, but the bit of good news for him, he is qualified for the Dash for Cash again next week.
Yes, he is. And I thought we all learned at Canada a few years ago, you don't make Cole Custer mad. He'll hop the wall and knock you down. Bell the winner. Christopher Bell batting 1,000 when it comes to the Dash for Cash in 2019. Gets the trophy, gets the check here today, and he's one of the 4 that will be eligible Friday night on FS1 from Richmond. Tyler Reddick, Cole Custer, and Chase Briscoe also going for the big payout in the Commonwealth. Fun race today, and at the end of it all, no doubt, Christopher Bell was the guy in this race.
Yeah, I mean, they just made it. They executed well. They did everything right on pit road. He had good pit stops, and once they got him up front, he was able to manage that loose race car that really came to him as the race went on, and the little long runs towards the end of the race got him the track position, and he took charge.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, hey, let's face it, we've talked about frustration all race long. Everybody knows when you come through that gate at Bristol, you're going to be frustrated. There is only one guy that leaves here not frustrated, and he's the guy standing on top of that building over there having fun and celebrating in victory lane. But I had a lot of fun, learned a lot up here, watching this racetrack as that groove really burn in on the outside. You see that starting to prevail. You see that car that was good on a long run really take off and become the, the victor and be over there in victory lane. So I'm ready. Hey, I'm starting in front of you for once. Now I got to see if I can keep it up there in front of him.
He's kind of come to life here in our final segment.
2 bumps. I guess that monster's kicking in finally. We were a little nervous.
I watched him in practice, and he's pretty sporty. So if I can stay in front of him, I just might have a shot at winning this baby.
You start 8th, you start 13th, and you said in our race day coverage that maybe you could marry one another if you were put out there with other drivers. Let's not get a divorce tomorrow, okay? Let's keep it all in the family.
Be short term.
We're looking forward to seeing these two tomorrow. Should be fun on track, just like it was here today. That's going to do it from Bristol. Let's go to the Race Hub studios. And Shannon, please take it away.
It's a quick annulment between those two, right? I just love Kevin's look when Boyer said that he was behind him or in front of him for tomorrow's race. Good luck with that, Clint.
All right, thanks, hon.
All right, Shannon, Larry, and Jamie here in the Race Hub studios. I'm going to throw out some number, guys. Okay, numbers. Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. This is not Morse code. This is Christopher Bell's finishes at short tracks in the last 6 races. The kid's pretty good.
I would say so. And, we talked about him in our pre-race show and felt like I was a little disappointed he qualified 8th. I went, wow, I expected him to qualify a lot better. And actually, they had to make some adjustments on that race car. He was a little bit too free, too loose when this race started. But as Kevin Harvick just said, they executed on the racetrack. They executed on pit road. And he's in victory lane for the 10th time in his Xfinity Series career.
Yeah, big team effort today. We heard Kevin really praise the pit crew because that made a big difference at the beginning of the race for Christopher Bell to get some track position. And I just looked it up. He has a 1.3 average finish in his last 6 starts at short tracks.
Pretty good.
And I was like, well, I wonder how he did at Richmond. So I looked it up, and he won both races at Richmond last year. So that's where we go next week. He has a chance to win another $100,000.
When we were watching the race, you said at one point, man, he reminds me of Kyle Larson.
Yeah.
In what way?
I say that a lot. Why
yeah, you do.
I feel like when you watch him race, he's exciting to watch. He can make the top work. He's also really good at the slide job and just kind of moving around the racetrack. He's just a fun guy to watch. And even though he and Kyle, I mean, they're buddies and they race midgets together for the same scene at Keith Koontz. I don't know. Just like when I watch him in a car, he just reminds me a lot of Kyle.
When you look at the guy on top of the pit box, I mean, is this the perfect combination? Christopher Bell, Jason Ratcliffe, it seems to be working out pretty well.
Yeah, I've said that from the very beginning of last year. I felt like that was brilliant for Joe Gibbs Racing, Steve DeSouza, the people over there to do that, to take that young, aggressive driver and put him with that old wily veteran crew chief that's won races in Xfinity Series, that's won races in the Cup Series. I think it's been the perfect match from day one.
We saw some frustration today. I mean, you saw Cole Custer after the race, a little upset that he couldn't get to the front. Justin Allgaier was the most upset, and rightfully so, right?
Yeah, I mean, he dominated stage 2. He had already won stage 1, took the lead there with just about a lap or 2 to go before the end of stage 1, led well over 100 laps. But this has kind of been a classic Justin Allgaier day. He had the mechanical issue. They had something going with either a hub or a rotor, which ended up losing the brakes. And you could tell the young man was very frustrated, and rightly so.
We talked earlier today about the pressure when you have a really good car. That much more frustrating when something goes wrong when that car is so good.
Well, I think he's frustrated because this year has kind of been that way, and we heard him vent a little frustration on the radio, saying, "Guys, we got to get better." So we weren't real sure what happened. We thought initially he blew a motor up, and then said something about maybe a tire, and then we realized finally that he had lost brakes, and you could see how frustrated he was when he got out of the car. And you know, I mean, he clearly had a car that could have won today. He was going to give Christopher Bell a run for his money, and unfortunately, his car didn't have the same character that he did.
There's always going to be one driver that's happy and the rest of the field that's not thrilled. We did talk to Chase Briscoe before the race, and Regan Smith caught up with the 4th place finisher after the race.
Chase Briscoe, his 2nd straight 4th place finish. Chase, you had to battle all day long. Seemed like that's about where your race car was going to finish no matter what happened today.
Yeah, you know, with that, you know, the first half of the race, we were definitely, you know, that 5th place area, but, you know, that last run, last 20 laps, I felt like we were honestly the best car. It was just so hard to pass guys, and, you know, I could run the bottom really good in 1 and 2, and I could normally slide guys in 3 and 4, but there at the end, you know, Reddick and Cole were so close to each other, it made it really hard to throw a slide job down there, but overall, definitely, you know, that's by far the best weekend we've had our new Chomps Ford, so didn't win the $100,000 this weekend, but got another chance next weekend, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Another driver qualified to win some money next weekend at Richmond.
That's right. How much is this a place for a driver, you know, like Chase Briscoe, where you get it and it kind of follows you when you come back the next year?
Well, I go back to what he told us in the pre-race. He was not very happy with the way his car was driving, but he said, I'm a little confused because we seemingly have good speed, and that's a great thing. But this team, he and Richard Boswell, his crew chief, they started off a little bit rough, but now they're starting to find their rhythm. They're starting to find that consistency, but no question, even though we go back there in late summer, we go back there for a night race, it's still like you've started putting pages in your notebook.
Does it feel like that for a driver? Does it feel like it's something you can build on? Or is Bristol one of those tracks that every time you go, it just seems different?
Well, I mean, look, when I think about Chase Briscoe right now, I think about the question that Larry asked him, how much easier it is being with a full-time team in the same team for every race versus the position that he was in last year where it was a part-time schedule, 2 different teams, and now he's got 2 top 5 finishes in a row. He seems pretty confident in his interview. He's like, we had a faster car than that. It was, you know, track position was important. So he's gaining some confidence, and those cars at SHR are really fast right now. Both he and his teammate Cole ran good today. So, I mean, I expect, you know, really good stuff from him.
Yeah, he did talk also about just consistency at Stewart-Haas Racing, and that's really contributing to the overall success this year. All right, speaking of another driver we heard from in our pre-race show, Harrison Burton making his first Xfinity Series start. The 18-year-old caught up with Regan Smith after the race.
Harrison Burton makes his first career start at Bristol. You salvaged today, survived the day, a little contact at a couple different moments there, but came home with a top 10 finish.
Yeah, it was definitely an up and down day. You know, we had that early contact with the 00. It's just racing at Bristol, things happen so fast, and I guess he thought he was clear, and I was there, and I couldn't jump out of the gas quick enough, but we got on the wall a little bit there, and then later in the race we blew right front and rallied from that. So that was fun, and to come back from that and come back with a top 10. You know, my guys worked really hard. We had a pretty good car, especially in the first stage. We were really good, and just needed in the second and third stage needed some more turn in the center, and we would have been pretty good.
Was the first race everything you expected it would be?
For sure, it was a lot of fun. You know, that's definitely what I expected, and all these guys race so hard, which is fun. You know, as a racer, that's what you want. You want everyone to race you as hard as they can and make it hard for you to pass and all that. So I enjoyed it, I had a lot of fun, and I'm ready to come back for some more.
10th place for Harrison Burton in his debut.
Oh, my goodness. You love to hear that, right? Especially at a place like Bristol. And you said before the race, Jamie, that he has to take what the car can give him. Did he do that today?
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, he had that flat tire, and we were saying he brought out his own caution, so he had a little bit of luck. But when I watched his race, I don't know who is going to be more tired, Harrison or the mom. Because I watched Kim on the pit box. She had to be getting dizzy. She kept doing donuts, watching him go all the way around the track. It's kind of fun to watch her cheer him on.
Yeah. No question. He ran there anywhere from between about 5th and 9th this entire race. And to have that tire going down, to Jamie's point, the caution came out. There you see him up against the wall right there. The caution comes out. He stays on the lead lap. And to come home with a top 10 and your first Xfinity Series start of all places, Bristol Motor Speedway, he has to walk out of there pretty happy.
Kim Burton has probably done more laps looking around that racetrack than anybody else besides between both her son and obviously her husband, Jeff Burton. We have much more post-race from Bristol coming up next. But Fox Sports Supports is a proud partner with Action for Healthy Kids, a nonprofit organization working to improve children's health and well-being in schools nationwide. Find out how to involve your local school by visiting actionforhealthykids.org. Coming up at 4 p.m. on FS1, it's the Texas Rangers versus the Los Angeles Angels. You see those guys warming up right now. Major League Baseball on FS1, a full day of action here on the network. Okay, tomorrow's a big day. Bristol Motor Speedway out there for the Cup Series drivers. We do have some guys starting a little further back than I think we normally see them. How much of a challenge is that at a place like Bristol?
Well, I was encouraged in this Xfinity Series race today. For 300 laps, we have two distinct grooves. We have one way high and we have one way low. But yeah, I think most notably, looking at Kyle Larson qualifying back there in 16th, Kyle Busch, who's won the last two spring races at Bristol, qualifying right behind him in 17th. They will be fun to watch, and there's a good chance one will be at the top and one will be at the bottom.
Yeah, and I think that the traction compound, or PJ1, whatever they call it now, whether they put more of that down or not, I heard Kevin and Clint discussing this a little bit. I think they will probably put some more of that on the bottom, but like Larry said, it looked to me like the bottom was kind of the preferred groove for a few laps, and then on the long run, the top groove. But there were two grooves, which made it pretty fun to watch. The difference tomorrow is that lap traffic won't be as much as we saw today. There was a lot of lap cars today, and I heard Cole Custer complain about that a little bit, that he couldn't go to the bottom just because of the lap traffic being in the way. So I don't think we'll have that tomorrow, but two grooves should be fun.
No mistakes.
No mistakes.
15 pit road speeding penalties combined at those two races last year.
What about last week? I mean,
it's been an ongoing story. Uncontrolled tires and speeding on pit road. This place is easy to get in trouble with penalties.
Yeah, we'll be back tomorrow to get you ready for Cup Series racing right here on FS1. Our coverage starts at 12:30 Eastern. Thank you guys so much for joining us here tonight. As you see, coming up at 4 p.m., we have Major League Baseball. Coming up next, the adventures of Janet Guthrie. We will see you right back here tomorrow on FS1. We cannot wait to get you ready for 500 laps at Bristol.